Good morning and welcome to 97.3 City FM, and it's a big morning indeed as the New Patriotic Party have 102,000 delegates in 2,407 electoral areas choosing members of parliament for their party come the December 7 election. It's a big day, and 97.3 City FM has you covered from now till all results are declared. It is a big issue special as we follow the NPP primaries. My name is Godfred Akoto Boafo. So as I said, it is indeed a big day across the country for the New Patriotic Party as they go to the polls in various constituencies. In fact, if you look at it, 168 constituencies. But on the ground though, elections will be held in just 100 of these constituencies, and there will be 310 aspirants contesting for the sole tickets in each of these constituencies across the country. So big day. We have a couple of suspended constituencies as well. We are aware that Kwadaso in the Ashanti region, Gushegu in the northern region, and Doma Central in the Bono region have been suspended for various reasons, and those ones will happen a bit later. But today I will take you across the country with my colleagues. Umaru Sanda is somewhere in Accra. I'll give you details of where he is. Kojajiman is somewhere in the Ashanti region. I'll give you details of where he is. Caleb Kuda is somewhere around the country. I'll tell you where he is. Perla Kanya Ofori is also somewhere around town. I will give you details. We have our entire team across the country to bring you the best, most up-to-date coverage. We'll bring you interviews with candidates, we'll bring you interviews with delegates, and most importantly, after 1 p.m., when all is said and done and counting begins, we will also bring you the results of these primaries. We'll also, for the next 3 hours or so, I'll be taking you through some of the constituencies and what to expect, some predictions maybe, what you also expect to happen in these constituencies. As always, it's an interactive show. When we sit down, you can send us your messages via WhatsApp line 0549 986 996, 0549 986 996. And you can tell us who your favorite candidate is, or what, if your understanding of whatever the dynamics are in whichever constituency you are in. You can share your thoughts and opinion as we carry on our analysis. And when the analysis begins, I'll be doing this with Samuel Riafe, presidential correspondent here at 97.3 City FM. Everybody calls him Samir Riafe. Duke Menso Poku, parliamentary correspondent, one of the best in the business, very knowledgeable. He will also be seated with me, as well the ever-present Elvis Darko, editor of the Finder newspaper, also a regular on City TV and 97.3 City FM. Later on, you'll also hear from Bernard Avle, Vivian Kai, Loko Abno, Sujameche, Selom Adonu. We will bring in a loaded panel to bring you the best in election analysis. So, of course, nobody does it better than we do. Now, just a quick overview of what is happening across the country today. Like I said, this is happening in 100 constituencies because others are doing acclamations. We have members of parliament who are going unopposed, and we will have our eyes on very specific constituencies. We will be watching Bantama, for instance. We'll be watching Adansia Sokwa. We'll be watching Asante Achim North. We'll be watching Asante Achim Central. Domi Kwabenya, we'll be keeping an eye on it. Ejiso and Prayaso, Navrungo Central, New Jabing South, in Shayaso as well is another constituency we will keep our eye on. We will also up north follow constituencies like Yendi. We will go to Wenchi. We will go to Okaikwe South. We will go to Nkoko just to have a look at what is happening there. Nantong is another place we will check out. And in the western north, the Bibiani Ariaso Bekwai constituency is another one we will have our eyes on. So stay tuned to 97.3 City FM from now till very late in the day. as we begin our coverage of the NPP primaries. Now, also note that the president will be acclaimed at a later date, and indeed he has been speaking. He sent a goodwill message asking the party delegates not to disappoint Ghanaians. He expects the party to come out of this even more united than previously. Okay, so let's begin the conversation, and I will just run you through a number of constituencies and some of the personalities who are contesting, just a few notable ones there, so that you have a feel of what is going on. So, for instance, I like the Navrongo Central constituency, where the incumbent member of parliament is Mr. Joseph Kofi Ada. Now, he is the aviation minister, and if you recall, during the filing of nominations, he was accused of abuse of power because he flew in there in a helicopter to deliver his forms. People are not too happy about that, but hey, it happened. Now, he is being challenged by the regional minister, Ms. Tangoba Abayage. Now, she's a very powerful candidate in there as well, and is expected to give Mr. Kofi Ada a run for his money. Then perhaps I also cast my eyes to Accra, and Accra, there's just one there are two constituencies where eyes will be on. Dome Kwabenya is one where Miss Sarah Adjoa Safo, who is the incumbent MP, is being contested in a hot race by Mike Okwe Jr., the son of the Speaker of Parliament, and he himself, Ghana's High Commissioner to India. From what I picked up this morning, delegates have not slept in that constituency since 9 p.m. A lot has been going on in that constituency since yesterday, all kinds of meetings. What kind of results will these meetings end up in? We will find out. Now we go to Adansia Sokwa, where incumbent and 6-time MP, you can call him a Mugabe for those of you who like that term, but Adansia Sokwa MP, Mr. Kobna Tahir Hammond, he's for the first time being challenged by the NUK's president from 2013, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Samuel Benfo. He is a young man who is ready to take on KT Hammond, and the build-up to that one has been quite acrimonious, but here we are. Today's the big day. We will find out who will win. We will go to Asante Achem South in the Ashanti region, where Mr. Kwekwa Asante Boateng is facing a stiff contest from Bice Osei-Kufo, a.k.a. Obo, musician, recent past president of the Musicians Association of Ghana, Musica. Edmond Opompepra, William Yamwa, and Eric Amofa will also be contesting. Now, we go to Yendi, and Yendi is one of those seats that everybody has their eyes on. When we did our reports on the primaries, you could just catch a feel of the tension, the anticipation in Yendi, because they have three strong candidates who are contesting to succeed the incumbents. The incumbent is not contesting again. And you have Mr. Umar Farouk Aliu Mahama. If the name sounds familiar, that's because his father is the late Aliu Mahama, Vice President of the Republic under John Ejekum Kufuor. He will also be facing stiff opposition from Baba Osman Dane and Miss Abibata Shani Mahama Zakaria. And most people have predicted a straight fight between Miss Abibata Shani Mahama Zakaria and Aliu Mahama. And for those of you who've been to Yendi recently, there is a huge amount of development ongoing in the constituency based on the activities of these three personalities. Then we will come to Accra again. We'll keep an eye on the Okankwe South constituency, which is another hotbed for surprises, where Mr. Ahmed Arthur, 50-year-old politician, is being challenged by Miss Dakwa Newman and Nana Fredia Ofori Atta. Nana Fredia, a long-time communicator of the MPP, now board chair of the National Theatre, if I am not mistaken, but wants to go into Parliament. We will find out how that ambition will be realized today. Ahmed Arthur, some say, is the presumptive favorite. He is the incumbent, but some also say, well, Ms. Dakwa Newman, strong pedigree, family heritage. Will it play a role today by 3 p.m.? We will find out. Big race in the eastern region. Normally a stronghold for the NPP. We have New Jabbing South. That is a big one, where Dr. Mark Esibeye Boa, he is the chairman of Parliament's Finance Committee, one of the most powerful parliamentarians we have in the country, well, he's facing stiff opposition from one of the most powerful public servants we have in the country, Michael Ochribefi, who happens to be the executive secretary of the Ghana Free Zones Authority. From what we've been told, look, the delegates in that constituency, again, for the past 2 days, nobody knows where they have been, whether they are being camped, whether they have been spoken to, nobody knows. There have been accusations of album tampering, unverified, I must say, but one of the candidates has been very unhappy with that particular situation. We will take an eye also to Ejiso, where John Ampontua Kuma, NEIP boss, wants to unseat Kwabena Owusu Ediomi. To do that, he has to go through not just Mr. Kwabena Owusu Ediomi, who is the incumbent, but Abna Pokua Amuan Boite. She happens to be the CEO of the Golden Beach Hotels. We will keep an eye out on that one. And of course, how can we miss Inshiayeso, Kennedy Kwesi Kankam, and Stephen Amwa? That is Maslok's boss against the incumbent member of parliament. So much to discuss, so much coming up on 97.3 City FM. Let me say good morning to my panelists. Elvis, good morning to you. How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
I am wonderful. Samuel Riafe, presidential correspondent. Always a pleasure to have you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Godfred. Good morning.
Good morning. And Duke Mensah Opoku, parliamentary correspondent. Good morning.
Good morning, Godfred.
Okay, so gentlemen, let's begin the conversation. I want to start from you, Mr. Samuel Riafe. Let's have a look at the MPP generally. The 3 years in government, first primary coming up. What is the feel around the party?
Well, Godfred, good morning once again, and good morning to our listeners and viewers. It's the stakes are high because the party is in power. And a lot of the times when the party is in power, you get a feeling that people wanting to go to parliament on the party's ticket are somehow prepared for it because of the demands that normally comes with it. So if you look at the lineup or the people who are lacing their boots to go to parliament, these are people who had appointments when the party came to office. There are others who believe that they've not been lucky to get any appointment. So going to parliament will be the only opportunity for them to also offer their services to the people that they are going to represent. So the stakes are always high, especially when the party is in power. When the party is in opposition, the stakes are not so high as we have it now, because the party is in power. Because the delegates or the people who are going to seek the mandate of the delegates will normally ride on the achievement of the government, of the government in power. So they say that, Nana Akufo-Addo promised that he's going to do this, he's done it. If I become MP in this area, I'm going to do this with the support of the government. And some people also do these things or try to go to parliament because they want to get ministerial appointments, because the constitution says the president should appoint people from parliament to meet a certain criteria. So a lot of people who have eyes on being members of ministers of state are also lacing their boots to go to parliament, so at least they can catch the eye of the president when it comes to the appointment of ministers and other positions. That's why the stakes are very high in this particular election today.
All right, thank you. And just to get running, I will take you straight to Bantama, where Hafiz Tijani is reporting now. There was an incident this morning, and Hafiz, if he's ready, I will take Hafiz and speak to Hafiz. Hafiz, good morning.
Good morning.
What can you report to us from Bantama?
Well, so far the exercise has been smooth since morning at some of the areas I have visited, that is the voting centers, except that some few hitches at the cultural center. So what happens is that according to some of the according to the member of parliament for the area,
okay. Yeah, Hafiz, I can hear you. Go on. Yeah, Hafiz, go on. Okay, we'll try and get Hafiz back on the line, but what we're picking up was that there was a bit of confusion in the Bantama constituency, and you would know that is one of the big ones because we have the incumbent member of parliament, Daniel Ochema Boaje. He's facing off against Francis Asenso Boache, who's a deputy chief of staff. So it is it has been anticipated, and if you are checking your monitor, you should be able to see what happened this morning. Very unpleasant scenes. So I mean, this is not what we're expecting to see, but not altogether not unexpected considering the tension in the build-up in this particular constituency.
For me, I was telling you, Duke, that we should expect this in Bantama because the stakes are very, very high in that particular constituency. Looking at the two people who are going into this particular race. So when I heard this morning that this is what is happening there, I wasn't surprised because I was going to expect something like this because even as of yesterday, we were told of police, armed police and military.
Yeah, okay. So I mean, let me just go back on the line and speak with Hafiz. So Hafiz, can you give us some detail on what led to the confusion we saw and how it was resolved?
Okay, so that was a build-up I was just giving you. That if you are a delegate and you've been appointed to some of the security agencies like National Security and BNI, or even an office that is known to the government agency, you are not supposed to vote in the party in election, meaning you are not qualified. But at the Methodist Ahimbronum electoral area, that polling station there, we had one delegate or one party supporter who was coming in to vote, and an agent of the MP, that is Asenso, Daniel Ochema Boaje, tried to restrain him from voting, saying that he's not qualified. So that disagreement ensued there, and the police came inside and solved that issue. Then at the Aidan Hall police station at the Kumasi Cultural Center, that also ensued. One Derek came in to vote. So when we entered the cutting off area, the agent of Daniel Ochema Boaje, the incumbent member of parliament there, tried to restrain him, telling the electoral officers that no, this guy works with the Foreign Affairs Ministry. He's not supposed to vote. He's not part of people who are qualified to vote. Then the guy also didn't want to listen to him. The electoral officer was saying that but his name is in the register. Then the agent of the incumbent insisted that no, even if his name is in the register, our protocol shows that he's not supposed to vote because he is not qualified to vote. So they used unprinted words on themselves. They started raining insults on each other, and then it resulted in fisticuffs, and they threw blows, and then they nearly damaged some of the electoral material. So the police came in with the help of the fire service personnel who are also trying to man the elections there at the center. So when they came, Ochema Boaje at that time had voted and was leaving, and the issue happened. So he came back trying to insist that the guy is not supposed to vote. He was alleging some manipulations going on in the process. He says that he has not been given the register. He doesn't have a copy of the register, but the register has been hijacked by some people within the constituency. So he was not happy about the incidents that were happening at some of the police stations. So he was calling on the police to arrest the guy who was trying to vote, as he said he was not qualified to vote, but the police did not know what to do at that time. Then the former member of parliament, Kokofu also came in, saying that the agent of Mr. Ochema Boaje should be arrested because he prevented someone. He was trying to disenfranchise someone. He was trying to prevent a delegate from voting. So that resulted in some misunderstanding. There was reinforcement of armed police officers some few minutes later who came to calm down tempers. A while ago, Asenso came around. The understanding is that he is not a delegate, so he is not voting. But the MP voted, in the process. So Atetu Boafo didn't want to respond to some of the, or he declined to respond to some of the issues that have happened. He says he was not there as at the time it happened, but he says calm has returned. So he hopes that the process will continue smoothly. So right now, calm has returned at the polling station. Voting is ongoing, but the disturbances that ensued earlier ago, it delayed the process for some time as the electoral officers and security officers try to put in place some measures so that they will not have the process being halted for some time. So that is that, and voting is ongoing at all the electoral areas, and some of the areas will be monitoring the process. I want to speak to chairman of the constituency, PC Mensah. Yeah, welcome to CCTV and CCFM. Thank you. How has been the process so far since morning?
Well, everything was going on until there was a lot of stuff we hear about the constituency treasurer, whom the incumbent MP's agents wanted to refuse him his right to vote. But apart from that, everything was resolved.
Why was that?
Well, according to them, he works with the same ministry, and to the best of their knowledge, somebody who works for that ministry does not have the right to vote. And as far as I'm concerned, the National Secretary didn't send me a list of people who work in ministries and are not supposed to vote. So he's eligible, he's a constituency treasurer, duly elected, has been with us for over 2 years. So there was simply no reason for him not to vote. So when they raise that issue, when you have issues like that, you petition the electoral officer.
Okay, so that is what is happening in Bantama. Reports by Hafiz Tijani. He concluded that with an interview with the constituency chair, who was looking to explain the situation that was ongoing. Let me go to parliamentary correspondent, sorry, Duke Mensah before I get to Elvis. Duke, again, Bantama. No surprise, everybody had tipped it as a hot spot, and it started hot.
Yes, very, very, very hot. And if I get what the constituency executive was saying right, it's about the album.
Yes,
it's about the album.
And we'll get to that. It looks like there will be a lot of problems with the album today.
With the album, and every experienced politician, as the incumbent, has come to understand the game as it's played in Bantama over the past 3 years. It really depends on how he's able to ensure that the people that he expects to vote for him would do that. So he is trying to ensure that the votes do not go the way he does not expect them to go. But looking at how heated this competition is, or this election is, or this primary is at this point in time, I hope that it does not degenerate going into the time that it will be ending. We were told it will end around 1 p.m.
Yes.
So as it's begun like this, I hope that the security agencies will take charge so that the boiling and the tensions in that area will not get out of hand.
Okay. Now, Elvis, this album scenario, as I said, is something that we should expect to hear more of in other constituencies, because prior to this, we've had a situation, for instance, in the New Jabin South constituency. I think in the Asante Achim North constituency as well, there has been a problem where Apia Kubi is facing off against Kojo Bahajiman. There has been a problem with the album. I think it led to even a court injunction also. I don't know what the state of that is right now. But albums and primaries, this one in particular, like Samir Rafi explained, stakes are very high. Nobody is willing to stay down.
Let me say, I think that is shameful for us, for after 25 years of democracy, political parties, especially two big ones in this country, can't do a simple thing like an album for primaries. For me, it beats my mind when I hear these complaints of albums and albums. I ask myself, is it that the parties are telling that their systems of electing who a delegate should be is fraught with challenges, or what? Because both parties, they have clearly laid down rules as to how people qualify to become delegates. The question is somebody's trying to bend those rules. I don't really get it. And I think that if our democracy will grow the way we want it, it depends upon the strength of the political parties. Internally, what they're able to do to establish that we have put our party on the footing that the systems and everything works and nobody is manipulating anything. Then when we are able to do that in the individual parties, then we will not have this too much fear of national elections will be manipulated or all that. But obviously, if you look at what is happening, and this is not new, every 4 years, anytime there's going to be primaries, it is a normal thing that happens. Then you ask yourself, so what at all is preventing the parties from putting in place structures and systems to prevent it? I really think that we are not helping ourselves as a country and as political parties if these basic things that should not be an issue continue to be an issue. It means that we are not making enough progress in terms of the structure of the party, how to position our party to say that, look, we are moving this country forward. Because whether I like it or not, when you're in government, your performance will also really depend upon the strength of your party in terms of how you organize your party before even coming into power. So if we are having this kind of challenges, then I think that it's a shame. And I believe that these things, the party should realize that it's a shame and that they should find a way of dealing with this once and for all. Because we cannot have a system where the party has agreed that this is how we will elect individuals to become delegates. And then when the album comes out, then there's all complaints that somebody's name has been removed, this and that, and all kinds of complaints. So if you as a party that is supposed to come to government or you are in government, even at your own internal elections, these are the problems you have. Why wouldn't you be having all kinds of problems attacking the Electoral Commission? So you see, I think that if parties want us to respect them, if they want us to see them as these are the parties that if you give them the opportunity, they can move this country in the right direction. It largely depends on what they do internally in their parties. And I think that this album issue is about time that the parties should say that enough is enough. We are over 25 years in the Fourth Republic. We cannot continue to repeat this teething problem that shouldn't even be an issue as of today. And you see, because of these things, the parties themselves are not having the room and time to be able to really orient their delegates and their supporters to understand that if you are part of my party, we believe in a philosophy, an ideology, and your voting patterns should be influenced by which of the candidate really best understands the ideology we stand for, and what are the issues is he preaching that when given the chance, he will use to refine national politics in view of our ideology as a political party.
Right.
But because of these things, we are not getting that kind of education from them.
All right, Elvis, hold on for me. I want to go to Dome Kwabenya and speak to one of our correspondents there, Hansen Ajiman. Yes, Hansen Ajiman. Hansen, good morning. Hansen, good morning.
Good morning, Godfred.
Hansen, what can you report from Dome Kwabenya? Have delegates started voting? How's the process been?
Yeah, voting is ongoing smoothly at the Dome Kwabenya constituency. There are 9 polling centers here, drawn out from the various metro areas within the constituency. Voting started quite early, around 7-8 at the Hajo polling center. It's exactly the same thing across the constituency. There's visible presence of the police station, even though the numbers vary from polling station to polling station. But there's a visible presence of the police here. Delegates are casting their ballots smoothly. As you go to some of the polling centers, they have their vertical baskets. But what cuts across is the presence of hand sanitizers because of the COVID-19. Delegates who come in will have to use the hand sanitizer before they are allowed into the voting area. But generally, voting has been smooth across the constituency.
Mm. Have you come across any of the aspirants, incumbent Serajo Asafo, Michael Okwe?
Yes, so we are the polling center at the University of Ghana Graduate School of Nature and Allied Sciences at Afomik when the incumbent MP Address African to cast a ballot. She is a delegate. We have been told that my state junior is not a delegate. So she came in earlier in the day to cast a ballot. He was very confident that he was going to win the polls. He urged all delegates to act in a good manner, but at the end of the day, the party will emerge victorious after the poll. He was basically confident. He says that her job is for her. We've been interacting with delegates, and across the board, a number of them have been telling us that the question that a number of them are going to answer is the personality of the two candidates, who appeals more to the delegates and who seems to be solving some problems of delegates. When put that issue to her, she was very confident, and she said she's done a lot for the delegates. She knows that those are the conversations that delegates are having, and after the end of the day, by the time that polls end, she will emerge victorious. Currently, we are the graduate coordinator and allied scientist at the Summit Polling Center. It's supposed to be 147 delegates to pass the ballot. As of now, 109 persons have cast their ballot. So I just think that we might be able to be the officials are saying that they might be able to meet the timelines that have been set for the end of the election.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Hansen Ajeman from Dome Kwabinya, where he is partnered with Umaru Sanda. We'll hear more from them in the course of the day. Sami, you wanted to make a point on the albums, and then we can move the conversation on.
Thank you, Godfred. This album issue and why there's always confusion about album is. Let me run you through what the process is. But before then, I'm sure people want to know who the delegates are, who are really the delegates, who are voting in this election. Okay, so all constituency executives plus the member of parliament in that particular constituency qualified to be delegates. So there is a total number of 18 plus the member of parliament. It makes the number 18. Then there are 5 members of the constituency council of elders, and then 5 members of the constituency council of patrons, and then electoral area coordinators, 1 from each electoral area, times the number of electoral areas we have in that particular constituency. And then 5 polling station executives. Every polling station has a number of executives, which 5. So there's a chairman, there's a secretary, there's an organizer, there's a women's organizer, and there's a youth organizer, making the number 5 from every polling station. So these are the people who are put in the album for them to vote. So more like the list of people who are going to vote.
So it's quite easy to identify them. So why is there always an issue?
The difficulty is when they prepare the album for a particular election, it is sent to the regional office for verification. When that is done, it is brought to the national headquarters for another verification. The national headquarters keeps that particular album. Now the confusion comes in when the constituency are preparing the album. The MP obviously has favorites among the constituency executives who prepare the album. Now when they realize that this guy is not going to vote for MP A or candidate B, they will take his name or her name from the album and replace it with another person's name.
Even if the person is a constituency executive?
No. Maybe the person is a police station executive.
Okay.
So they take that person's name out, bring another party member's name onto the album. So on election day, you feel you are a delegate. You go there to cast your ballot and you realize your name is not on the album. But meanwhile, you know very well that whilst they were compiling the album, your name was in there. But in some way, somehow, some mafia tactics, your name is out of the album. And then the person who is not the delegate rather finds his or her name in the album, and that person is eligible to vote. So that's always the confusion that, I'm a delegate, but so that's why there's always confusion when it comes to the album.
Okay, thank you very much. Now I think we also caught up with Mr. K.T. Hammond, who himself is in the middle of a heated race at Asokwa, and he spoke about this matter of the album.
The youth of the No, that we try. Again, we would explain. I think that would make sense. Let me finish with this. The reason why he's saying this is this. When we went in there, there's a guy we call who is Achim or something. Achim was supposed to be illegally appointed, an appointee. So in Accra, they were all there. Sorry, in the press, all of them. He was moved away from there to go back to be whatever he was at the time before he was illegally appointed. Somebody in his stead was placed, which is also secretary also. What I see now is that they kept him as a delegate from Akufo, and then you've also maintained him as a delegate at the constituency level. So in this case, I don't have an issue. He can vote there as a delegate there and not vote here. And then whoever originally was brought there, I think he understands this. Also secretary would then vote here. That resolves it. So that I don't think there's an issue. But one person can vote. So it's sensible. He can vote too. So that is concluded.
No, apart from that, I'm not allowing those of the Council of Elders and Council.
No, but I'm here myself, so why are you making all this noise?
So if
don't worry, don't raise issues which are not issues. Please, let's calm down. These are not issues. How would this let's vote? Is it possible? They won't vote, so no, calm down.
Based on what he said,
no. Other people are explaining this, so he would have to understand it. That is fine. The other, you were there. So I don't know any problem with that. You also know that there are people who have left, who are dead, and whatever their names are there. They are not good. You know that. We have been given the but we are here to tell you this person. Who is dead? We all know who is dead.
We all know. Fine, but if you say this is what you are giving, no, listen. You said this is what you are giving. If you have anything, you should talk to your mother.
It's everybody knows what I'm saying is true. And Accra is ringing. They are telling me it is here. This is the one they've called you. They've spoken to the representative.
They've not called me, sir. They've not called me. I take orders from my regional director. If you don't get together.
I don't know what to do. We won't go. If I'm lying, people will be shouting. They all know what I'm saying is true. Accra keeps on bringing me the list. That this is it. They just said that they've spoken to Kumasi, they've spoken to everybody except who should know. There's not much I can do. She said if I print this for her, she doesn't take instructions rightly from me. I mean, it's all about this. But we would not vote without this.
It's a very interesting clip, and this is coming in this morning from Katie Hammond's constituency. So, like I said, we are bringing you the best in the coverage of the MPP primaries. Duke, your good friend Katie Hammond, things are looking stiff this morning.
Very, 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 very stiff. I'm reading from his body language and what is going on. It tells me there's, the anticipation of the numbers that would come in for him in terms of the delegates. As he was trying to explain there, it looks like there is something amiss with the album. The same issue that Sami was explaining a bit earlier on. But his insistence on not having the elections or the primary start without the album being in place or without having the vote set is something that may not be agreed to by the constituency executives or even the regional executives, especially if there was not an initial plan or an agreement between all the parties involved to have this to have the album done the way it ought to be ought to be done. I think that going forward, what would happen could be based on when the elections would eventually start, when the primaries will eventually start, and who would at the end of the day be able to get the numbers based on those that they've been able to convince to cast their ballot or to vote for them on the day. So in the final analysis, it will be based on who will be able to get the numbers at the grounds. But look, reading from what has happened this morning, let's hope that things improve going forward.
All right then, and let me take a quick one from Sami, and then we can begin the constituency by constituency analysis and perhaps make some predictions. But before I go to Elvis, let me just ask you, any part, we know we've mentioned hot spots and whatnot, but are there any constituencies you in particular are looking out for, and for what reasons?
For me, I think that really, I don't really think that there's much, apart from the one you Ketiamon and maybe Dom Kwabenya, and then Sibi
South.
Yeah, the South. I think these are the three areas I think are quite some issues are interesting, because for instance, I saw Sibu being the chairman of the
Finance
Committee of Parliament. That is a very important committee. And if the party can have confidence in him to be the one leading the committee and talking to people, obviously, from the parliamentary point of view, he's been doing a fantastic job on that committee in Parliament. So for me, such a person now being contested, and the dynamics as to how you perform in Parliament, especially being a head of a committee, really doesn't matter when it comes to internal party politics, because people are looking for various reasons. If you look at our politics and how we do it, so for such a person to be facing competition to that level, for me, it's something that I'm interested to know whether the delegates recognize that what he's doing in Parliament is why they sent him there, and it's important, therefore they have to keep him, or they are looking for other considerations. Okay. And therefore that will tell us even our national politics where we are taking it. Because if we, those who send the people there, we send them based on our considerations, maybe because of individual greed or individual expectations, but not for the general good of the country, then the expectation that the country should move in a certain speed may not be achieved, because we are being too selfish individually, rather than looking at the general picture and say this person is doing a better job at this level for the nation, and therefore keeping that person there will serve the nation. And I think that these are some of the things we as Ghanaians should begin to talk about. You are electing people to Parliament, and Parliament is supposed to be the representative of everybody in this country. And here is the case, evidence from Parliament or the testimony from Parliament says that the man is doing a good job in Parliament. But if the delegates decide to change that person and bring somebody else, the question is, that person that is being brought, are we going to get same value from the person if the person is made even leader of such a committee? So for me, this is why I will look out for some place like, or say, it's based constituency, and want to know what will be the outcome, and then that will send a certain message for them. I think because of Professor Michael, who has been on the seat now, the son is trying to get it, so there's some kind of up and down. But you see, someone like Ketiamon, 6 terms. I think maybe we'll come to that later.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, as to why, if somebody with certain expertise and abilities is allowed to stay in Parliament for long, it could be helpful for the nation. But for the delegates, are they looking at things from that bigger perspective, or they are only electing the person based on what they will individually benefit from at the expense of the nation? And these are some conversations we need to have as a country. If you see, we complain about the country have to be speeding up in development, but it takes people. It takes people to do it. So the people that we send to government and send to key positions, we should be asking ourselves: are these people capable of doing the job? And if delegates are not electing people based on this kind of considerations, then we are having a problem. In advanced countries, people are electing their members to Congress and other places in the UK based on critical issues that the nation is facing, and they think that this person's views and positions and understanding of issues in this area will help us all as a nation if this happens from the perspective of our political ideology. But do we also elect our people in Africa or Ghana in that perspective? If we don't, then we shouldn't be surprised that our development is not going the way we want it, because we may get people up there, all right, but what is their capability to do things that will accelerate the development of the nation?
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Point well made. Let's go back to Bantama. We've caught up with Asenso Boache, Deputy Chief of Staff, giving a heated challenge to the Member of Parliament, the incumbent, Ochem Abuaje, who happens to be what? The government spokesperson?
On finance.
On finance. Okay, so let's listen to the two Bantama candidates.
Don't let your chest fool you. Don't let your chest fool you.
I think, as you are aware, as my friends in the media, we came, we worked hard, we brought our party to power. We've done very well in Parliament. We've done very well in the constituency. Internationally, we have done what we have to do for Ghana. We are only hoping and believing that the people of Bantama constituency will at least appreciate what we have done. But don't forget, the decision is the decision of the people. And I will stand by whatever decision they make. Meaning that if the people of Bantama constituency said, Daniel, Honorable, you serve us one term, we want a change, come on. Life goes on. But otherwise, expect to win. And then that means that we have opportunity to be stable in Parliament, to continue what we have started, and altogether we win for MPP. Regardless of that, I don't see this to be a major issue. I think the big win that we are all working towards, regardless of what happened today, is to be able to even defeat the NDC in the upcoming 2020 election, because that's the biggest thing. And so for me, I consider this to be a process, and as long as it's fair. Member of the party, maybe a politician, contest the other one, you lose. It is a natural expectation of a contest of two people. So if you don't win for any reason, you just have to appreciate people for the opportunity they gave you, and join hands with your friend and continue to support the party.
Well, this is the third polling station that I've had opportunity to visit, and so far the process is calm and is orderly, and everything is going according to plan. So hopefully, if it's going to go in the same direction, then I can predict a very smooth, calm, and peaceful election process.
Just a short while ago, there were trading of fisticuffs over NI voting.
I wasn't here. Unfortunately, I can't comment on that.
Okay, so that was the incumbent member of Parliament, Daniel Ochema Boaje, and then the man who's challenging him, who happens to be the Deputy Chief of Staff, Asenso Boache. And Samir and Duke, perhaps you can explain this to us before we go into the constituency by constituency analysis and predictions. If you look at a host of the candidates, we have a lot of people working in government, working at the presidency, working in state institutions, who are challenging members of Parliament. Under normal circumstances, how does a Deputy Chief of Staff say he wants to go into Parliament? It's a very high rank. Most people even see it as a demotion politically, if you look at the hierarchy of how the political system works. But you have people in these positions. For instance, you look at the Chibefi, this is the CEO, the Secretary of the Free Zones Authority, a very, very important economic enclave in this country, wants to give that up and go into Parliament. What is going on?
Well, for many political parties, including the New Patriotic Party at this point in time, what happens is when there is power, there is the feeling or the sense that the young lads in the party want to have some form of security, or to they see it as the best way to they see it as the best way to further their ambitions to a point where they feel secured. So, for instance, the Deputy Chief of Staff has wanted to be Member of Parliament for Bantama for a very long time.
Yeah, this is his third attempt.
This is his third attempt. Yeah. He wants
so
to
12 years now.
For some 12 years now. And with all the trappings that comes with power and the access to the various, resources and others that comes with being close to the center of power, it is the best way at this point in time to lay claim to the seat. And luckily for him, all the important persons within the constituency are behind him now. If you look at New Jabin South,
and we'll go there in a bit.
If you
speak to Kanaku.
Yeah, if you go to New Jabin South, for instance, Michael Ochibefi runs a very important state institution, Free Zones Authority. But he has also wanted to be Member of Parliament for quite some time. Now, this is his second attempt challenging the Member of Parliament for the constituency, Makesibe Yeboah. And the understanding I get from what he's trying to do, also similar path, that this is the best time to get into Parliament, to get some form of security in terms of furthering his ambition of wanting to be Member of Parliament for over the past eight years. This is his second. This is his second attempt trying to get into Parliament. It all comes back to the argument of people's personal ambition and looking at the fact that this is the right time for them to get into what they've always wanted to do, which is to get into to represent their people, to get into Parliament.
All right, thank you very much, Duke. Let's go to the Eastern region now, to the seat Elvis says he's very interested in. For him, it is going to provide a view into the national perspective. And so, New Jabin South, we have our own Ni Kanaku there. Kanaku, can you hear me? Ni Kanaku, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Godfred.
So, Kanaku, what can you report to us from New Jabin South?
Yeah, all has come here at New Jabin South, in the Eastern region, where the Chairman of Finance Committee in Parliament, that is Dr. Akoto Boafo, seeking to be re-elected for the third term. Now, he is facing step opposition from the CEO of the Ghana Free Zones Board in the person of Kopi Ochibefi. Now, from all the electoral areas, we have 34 electoral areas in the New Jabin South, where close to 582 delegates are expected to vote. Now, I can report that before 9 o'clock, most of these electoral areas had already gone through, delegates there had already gone through the process and are waiting for the counting, which will be done at exactly 1 o'clock. Now, I can say that there's heavy security details at every single polling station here in the New Jabin South constituency, because yesterday when we spoke to the regional police commander, indicated that New Jabin South is part of the hotspot. So as I speak to you now, each and every single electoral area, we have close to 3 to 4 security personnel detailed at that particular station. Now, the military are also here. We have another on standby patrol team, that is police. So the police are carrying out their own patrols with BCOP, Afobwati Adam, who is the regional police commander in charge of that patrol. So as we speak now, all is calm now, and delegates here in the New Jabin South constituency, they are waiting for counting to at 1 o'clock. And then we'll see the way forward.
Have you seen any of the two candidates, Makesibe Yeboah and Michael Ochibefi?
No, as we speak now, it's just the campaign team that is moving around, but all the other two, I think they are waiting somewhere. They've not been to the ground, but they have their men on the ground. They have their agents manning all these areas, and these two currently have not set eyes on any of them as we speak now.
All right, then thank you very much. Reporting from the New Jabin South, Niamati Kanaku, our Eastern Region correspondent. And like I said, you'll be hearing from a host of other correspondents across the country. You've heard from Hansen Ajiman from Domikwabenya. Umaru Sanda is there with him. If you go to Adentan, Sixtus Don Ulo will be there with Bevelin London. Okaikwe South, Ni Ama will be reporting from Blekuma North, Duncan and Pearl Akanya Ofori in Kroo, Anas Sedu and Lawrence Segbefia. Ladade Kotopong na Adole Mofat will be there with Kweku Eduamoa. Tema East Elvis Washington will be reporting another seat that Samiri Afe has marked down on his list. Tema East. Yendi, own Mohammed Alabira will be reporting. Gambaga Maxwell Souk, Navrongo Central, Freda Wuni, Sisala East. Latif will be reporting. We've heard from Hafiz Tijani already from Bantama Inishai. So Fatih Ibrahim will be there. And Adanse Asoka Edward Mafo, and we've already seen what is happening in Adanse Asoka. Katie Amon unhappy this morning. In Koko, you'll be hearing from in Koko as well. In Bibiani Bekwa Kusejani will be reporting. Wenchi Michael Afum will be there. Blekuma Central. We will have Mina W and Na Shika Caesar. And also to Michael Ogbodu is there. But English, Frema Edunyame, Okaikwe North, Caleb Kuda, and Pius Aduku. And then from Tema West, Nanatufo Boating will be reporting another key race. Duke and Elvis is in Tema West. And then Ewutu Senya West, Gumwa East. People have taken their eyes off this one, but it's key. This morning I was listening to an update coming in from the Ewutu Senya West, where they couldn't find some of the delegates as well this morning. So we'll find out where the delegates are. This is 97.3 City FM. We are doing a coverage of the NPP primaries. We'll be right back.
Businesses are evolving with the changing times, and the City Business Festival is doing the same. In the month of June, the City Business Festival goes digital. City TV, in collaboration with Absa Bank, will give SMEs the opportunity to reboot their businesses with expert forums, discussion platforms, and interactive Zoom sessions. There will be a lesson for every business. Join the virtual business forums every Tuesday in June at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and gain the knowledge you need to kickstart your business. Explore new ways of engaging your customers with the e-commerce forum on Tuesday, the 9th of June at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Get tips from the Agribusiness Forum on how to create another career in agribusiness on Tuesday, the 16th of June 2020 at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And get all the industry knowledge with a trade forum on the topic, will export trade be the same again, on the 23rd of June 2020 at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Revamp your business and work environment this June with the virtual business forums only on City TV every Tuesday at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. To be interactive and ask questions pertinent to your business, join in the forum via Zoom. To participate via Zoom, register by calling 0205-973-973. That's 0205-973-973. City Business Festival is powered by City TV and Absa Bank with support from the Ghana Investments and Promotion Center.
and welcome back to 97.3 City FM and also to City TV, where it's on coverage of the NPP primaries. Very comprehensive, very detailed. We are in every region, we are in every constituency, we are in every electoral area to bring you the latest in analysis, the latest in development, and also after 1 p.m. we will bring you the results of which 100 individuals will be on the ticket of the new Patriotic Party as members of Parliament hopefuls come the December 7 elections. You can send your messages in via WhatsApp line 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. My name is Godfred Akoto Boafo. I'm doing this with Elvis Dako, editor of the Finder newspaper, with Samiria Afi, presidential correspondent here at 97.2 City FM and City TV. Also here with Duke Mensa Opoku, parliamentary correspondent for City TV and for 97.3 City FM. So now we go to the analysis proper to the constituencies. We cannot go through all the constituencies, so we'll be picking some, but for the results we are giving every single result that is going to drop. So gentlemen, I want to start from the Ashanti region. Let's start from Inshaeso. It's one seat some a lot of people haven't spoken too much about, but you have Kennedy Kwesi-Kankam, who is the incumbent Duke, right?
Yes.
And then you have Stephen Amoah, who is the Maslock boss, also looking to get in there. And prior to this conversation, we were talking about people running state institutions, trying to get into parliament. This is a clear example of that. First of all, I'll play this from two sides. Duke, you are in parliament. What kind of MP is Kennedy Kwesi-Kankam? And then you can tell us, Amiri Afi, about Stephen Amoah, Maslock boss.
Okay, so Kennedy Kankam, in the first 2 years of his tenure, made a good impression as a member of the Public Accounts Committee and also debating issues on the floor of the House when it comes to finance. I think his background, he has a finance background. So he's on the Finance Committee, he's also on the Public Accounts Committee, and is very, articulate when it comes to the areas that he's knowledgeable in on the floor of Parliament. But in the last 2 years, he has been on and off in terms of presence on the floor of Parliament, probably to further other interests as a member of Parliament, probably to further other interests. But in terms of his presence in the House, in the last 2 years, it's not been the best, to be honest. So I think that he has made an impression. The first 2 years, he did very well in the Public Accounts Committee, on the Finance Committee, very articulate on the floor of the House when it comes to issues in his area. And can he coming up against Stephen Amoah, who is CEO of Maslock, who has always wanted to be in Parliament representing that constituency? And in Inshaeso, Godfred, anyone who knows Kumasi quite well knows that Inshaeso is the posh constituency, or you see, at the center of town with all of the amenities and all of that. So it would, at the end of the day, it will something that will be down to the wire, if you ask me. But Kennedy, first 2 years, made an impression on the floor of the House, but in the last 2 years, he's not really been in Parliament. The last time his issue came onto the floor was when he was nearly attacked, and there was in his constituency, there was a statement that was made by the majority leader, where there was some commiserations with him as to what nearly happened to him. So those will be my thoughts on the competition in Inshaeso.
And it's quite strange how Kankam's fortunes have dwindled. He's a first-term MP, but if you check what his constituents have been saying about him, and some of his own utterances in Kumasi do not seem to have helped him. He seems to have helped the cause of Mr. Amoah.
Yeah, that's the case. If you look at these two candidates, or two aspirants, they have a long working relationship. Yeah, I'll give you the rundown. When Dr. Richard Anani was the MP for Inshaeso, Kennedy was then the regional organizer, and Stephen was the regional youth organizer. So when Kennedy defeated Dr. Richard Anani in the 2016 primaries, Kennedy became the party's candidate and then Stephen Anwa, or Sticker as we call him, became the acting regional organizer until he was later settled as the regional organizer proper. So the two of them have a long working relationship in that particular constituency.
And they're both grounded.
Very grounded in that particular constituency. Now, Stephen Anwa is part of the group of young men who former President Kufuor took them to school when he was in power. So he's one of these boys, Sami Unku, Anthony Kabu, Perioku Jato, Martin J. Mensah, Kosa. He's part of those couple of guys who were taken out to school during the Kufuor era. And the condition was that when you come back, come and serve the party. That's why you have all these guys serving the party even when they came back. They came back from school. So when the party won, they decided to make Sticker the CEO of Maslog. He had earlier attempted to contest Kennedy when the party opened nomination. He was spoken not to make that attempt because Kennedy is the first time MP. But later on, he lobbied a few people and then got the powers that be to change their mind and ask that, okay, he can now contest Kennedy, can come in this race. As you said, it's too close to call.
You think so?
I think so. I think so.
It looks like, for instance, roads will become a crucial part, especially in Kankam's constituency, and flooding. Patasi and all those people are not very happy. And last we checked, he had gone to tell the people he's not an engineer, so they shouldn't come and complain to him.
What I believe is going to play to the advantage of Stephen Anwa is he's been giving soft loan to the women, riding on the back of Maslog, since he became the CEO of that place. And ahead of the election, he's been doing that, come and see me, I'll give you loan and those things. But Kennedy is not a pushover. From the things I read about him and the Kennedy we all know as a regional organizer, then times and now MP, for me, I'll stick my neck out. It will be too close to call. It will be too close to call from where I sit.
Okay, all right. So thank you very much. Elvis, I'll come to you with Adansia Sokwa for you to do your breakdown proper, since you like Adansia Sokwa so much. Where you have,
I think this is
no, I'll come back to you. I need to go on the line because there's a developing situation at Krowo, and at Krowo we have our own Anas Seidu and Lawrence Segbefia reporting. And it looks like something has happened. And there again, it seems it's with the album. So let's find out what is happening at Krowo, and then we'll speak to Anas.
The issue at hand is that one of the police station executives, who's a delegate, picture and his name was changed. We went to National to rectify it. And we made a follow-up. They said they've changed it. No voters exhibition was done. Now the police station executives are 5, and they are all confirming. The handwritten album has his picture and his name. Currently, they're going to pick somebody in there who is not a delegate, who is not a police station executive, who is not even in the constituency. And they are objecting that they will not make the person good. Meanwhile, we have made follow-ups that we had even wanted to get the album to see if that mistake has been rectified. And that mistake is not rectified. And we are here now, the original rep is saying that he will not allow him to vote. Meanwhile, the original album, this is an electronic generated album because it's a human being who inputted the data in there. So garbage in garbage, and whatever they included there, that was also a stamp. But the original album that was written with handwritten with the picture and everything, the guy is the police station executive. There are 5 in the police station. The 4 are confirming that he is their youth organizer. And you are saying that because I don't know the reason behind it, because we have made follow-ups to even national, and they said they are going to rectify it.
Have they been consensual?
No, rather what they are saying is that they will not allow him to vote.
Okay, so that seems to be the situation in Krowo. And Sami, it's just as you explained, that is exactly what the constituency secretary is saying seems to be the problem. And we have Anas Seidu on the line, and Krowo has the fisheries minister as the incumbent MP, Elizabeth Afolekwe, and she's being contested by Eric Ayikwe Okai and Emmanuel Laye Odai. Anas, have things calmed down now?
Yes, I can report that calm has returned to the Krowo Puna Royal Park electoral area, which serves as the polling station on today's came in with about 3 cars, with police officers almost trained to calm the nerves of these agitated party supporters who actually were furious over one of the delegates whose name and picture allegedly disappeared from the album.
Now, what has been the feeling around delegates this morning as they've gone around voting for one of these 3 candidates?
Okay, what I can say is that the 13 voting centers, which we have 12 electoral areas and 1 which will be for the Council of Elders and other appointees, making 13, the voting process is calm, everything is going on well across the place, except this particular incident that we witnessed at the Royal Park polling station. We expect over 1,000 delegates to come here and cast their ballot. We also expect party people, as we saw some party people supervising the election. The thing is calm. When they vote, after voting, they will just come, stand in group and talk about their candidates. So far, I can say they've become across the constituency as voting proceeds.
All right, Anas, stay with it. We'll get back to you in a few hours to check up on what is happening with the crew. It's one of the seats that we have eye on. Elvis, you said you wanted a quick comment before talking about your constituency.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Sami's statement that the MP said he's not an engineer, so they shouldn't come and worry him.
Yes,
one thing I've seen in Ghana politics, and that's I want MPs, people who are in public office to understand it. I see communication is an art, and it's a duty of professionals to do it. If you have been elected into public office or you have been elected as a member of parliament, it's important that you invest and hire a professional publicist to help you out in terms of communication. Because see, the kind of system we are in, if you don't develop a very good communication strategy that will link you to your people in terms of issues, your comments alone can make people get you out. I said this because Sticker, as Samia said, is the head of Maslow, and is trying to support people at the constituency. Officially, everybody is allowed to apply for Maslow loans. If he's the head of that institution, people apply for the consent and they get the money. Their perception will be that, oh, because Sticker is there, that is why we have what? We've been sorted. So it gives Sticker some advantage already over you, even though you are a sitting member of parliament. I think last year I saw Steve Armour hired a grader to go and work in the community. And it was even on social media because he put his picture on the grader that is from him. So it became like, hey, the guy has started his campaign already by putting his pictures out there. He's the one trying to reshape the rules in the community. So from this perspective, I think that even though the city MP has also done party work, I think Sticker is also an insider party person who understands the grounds. So if indeed the MP made such comments at this point in time, I think that he got it wrong, and he may give Sticker the lead over him, and Sticker may take over the seat from him. Okay. That is how I see. So people should understand that to be in public office or to be in the limelight, to be at a certain level, communication is key to everything you do. In Ghana, the problem we have is that people get such opportunities to serve, and instead of investing something small in a professional with a communication person, a strategist to help you with your public image, they decide to do everything themselves, or they rely on party people that they campaign with, but that party person you are relying on may not be a professional in the field. So the person may not be able to help you build that kind of image you want as a public figure. And I see that happening to a lot of members of parliament or elected officials or appointed officials in this country. And I think that it's about time people begin to pay serious attention to the fact that so long as I begin the opportunity to serve, it's important that I invest in building an image for myself in the public eye, and that is very important. Okay. So now I want that. That's so far. Go on. I think that as I've said, we send people to go and represent us. Yeah. And you see, when somebody votes for somebody in Adansia Sokwa, it's like it's voted for the whole of Ghana, because that person is going to represent Ghana from that constituency, and if that person gets appointed to become a minister or a deputy minister or a public office, whatever that person is doing to serve the whole nation, not only the constituency that the person is coming from. And if you look at Katie Hammond, we will say he's been the 4th term member of parliament. Yes. But the question is, do we see Katie Hammond's expertise as helpful to the nation? If we see it as helpful to the nation, do we have to let someone else come to take over and Katie Hammond goes to sit home? The person who is coming, he may have his or her own expertise, but then what Katie Hammond can offer would have been lost. And you see, it's not lost to the constituency, it's lost to the whole nation. So I believe that as a people, as I said, some of these MPs, the problem they have is not the number of years that they have been in parliament. The problem they have is the cordial relationship they are supposed to be able to establish between the delegates and the actual general population in the constituency is a problem for them. They have not found a very delicate way of saying, yes, I'm a member of parliament, I'm supposed to go and be making laws, but by the nature of Ghana politics, by the nature of our fiscal development, I will need to be able to show that I'm interested in helping the people in certain ways. And how do I do it? You can organize, if you are really an MP, you are not the only big person in the constituency that belongs to the party. There may be other big people in the constituency. If you are able to really get them to your side, they will all come in and assist you to be able to serve your constituency well, and at the same time serve in parliament for so many years.
Okay.
So you need to find that delicate balance as to how you mobilize your own party people, those who can support you, who have something that even if there is a gutter to be done that is maybe 3 kilometers, you don't wait for the state to come in. There may be somebody among your peers in the party who will say, oh, because I believe that you are a good candidate, you are doing so much for the party in parliament, I think that you should be on the seat, so I can devote resources to help do this so that the people will be satisfied with your performance. But I see that as something that is missing in the whole thing. We have become people who want to make the point that we have been elected to only go and make laws. But before we get elected, we don't tell this to the people. We make all kinds of promises to fix their problems. And then after we are elected, and then we now come back and tell them that, oh, my duty is only make laws. My duty is not to go and do this and that. So I think that it's about time people who want to serve in parliament for long have to develop strategies that will find that delicate balance. And I think that the gentleman that is coming, a former NUCS president, so
2013.
So he has quite a number of people. I listened to him on grant interviews, and people have called in. He's the one who discovered me when I was in the university, encouraged me to join politics, encouraged me to do this for the party. So you realize that he also has his own strength in terms of dealing with the people at the grassroots. So it becomes an issue that we are going to see a situation if we lose someone like Katie Hammond and it goes, the gentleman will come in. But then when we are talking about NPP as a party in government and issues of energy, and we see Katie Hammond's record from the era of President Kufuor all the way to today, if you follow Katie Hammond's issues in parliament when it comes to energy, I remember he's one of the people who first questioned a marriage deal in parliament and raised all kinds of issues about it. And at the end of the day, what transpired shows that indeed he was really, really pointing the nation to the right direction when it came to the marriage deal. If we are losing this kind of capacity and brains to go and sit home, and here is the we don't even have any arrangement for this board to also contribute to anything. If the person does not get any appointment from the executive, that means that his knowledge and capacity and everything that is built for the 16 years in parliament, he's just going to sit in somewhere and not do anything with it. How does this inure to the benefit of the country? Somebody is coming in fresh. So for me, I'm not saying that competition, people should not compete people. But what I'm saying is that this competition should also be taken in the framework of what is the longer and bigger vision of Ghana. Okay. This person we are sending in there on behalf of the party, if the person should win, how is that person going to contribute to the general good of the country? And not because the person has influenced me with some money and my pocket is rich, so I make him go. Okay. But I'm not thinking about the general good. The person gets appointed into office, and then the same person come and complain that you are not seeing the impact of the person's work on the general good of the country. It is the choices we make at this level that determine whether our nation moves forward. So for me, as the gentleman, I have nothing against him. But I think what Katie Hammond has done so far in Parliament,
you hope he goes through.
I wish that he remains in parliament in the area of energy. He's been a big brain and help.
We are picking up reports that voting has not started in Adansi Asokwa.
Still.
Edward Opomafo is our correspondent there. Edward, morning. Edward.
Hello?
Yes, Edward. Why has voting not started?
Yeah, hello, Godfred.
Yes, Edward. Why has voting not started?
Okay, so David, just right now, about 2 minutes ago, the main issue, the bill of contention, which has to do with about 10 people who are added to the list, that's the Council of Elders. That was the issue that Mr. Casey Amon had an issue with. There was raising objections against it. There was this back and forth where this election office officer here, Ms. Evelyn Koko, indicated that until a decision is reached from the regional level, from the regional EC, they are not going to use any other list. So for several hours, that we were here before 7, exactly 7 was supposed to start, it didn't start. So just about 5 minutes ago, they just reached a conclusion that, well, the 10 people who were added to the list, it has to be suspended. So now voting has started. Mr. Casey Amon is the first person who is being first person to cast his vote. So let me quickly get to Mr. Casey Amon and let's get to know from him basically some of the concerns that he had. So Mr. Casey Amon is over here with me. So we're just basically looking at some of the concerns that he raised, and we have to look at generally the issues and how you assess the process so far. So this is how I said so much for them. Now this is CDTV and CTFM. So what are actually the main concerns?
But they brought the data from. Okay, so we would monitor this one that he doesn't do it. Okay. Yes, we had the official list, which included the right members of the Council of Elders and the Council, the patrons. When the list finally arrived here, we realized that the 10 people on the 2 lists have been changed, and we said that they have to be sorted out as the problem. There's been a ding dong. What has happened now is that the electoral commissioner here has told us that the regional electoral commissioner has told her that Sandra Regan MPP executive, because you see the other form, the executive brought this new list that this is the appropriate list, but the other side said they would accept it, even though everybody seems to agree that that is a proper list. So the regional electoral commission has instructed the District Electoral Commission to suspend the list in issue, which is the patrons list and the Council of Elders list, and the rest can go.
Are you satisfied with that decision?
Well, I mean, it's suspended, not that they won't vote. It's suspended, they are getting the right documents set. There will be a vote on that, but we vote according to the proper, officially approved Council of Elders list and then the patrons list.
But how do you assess the general context?
Let's see what is going on. And for now, apart from what I've just explained to you, I don't foresee any other difficulty.
But how confident are you?
Come on.
So that's Mr. Casey Amon over there.
All right then.
I'm also trying to get his contender, that Mr. Samidin for Tapa. He was here a while ago, so I'm trying to get to him to also tell us some of the reservations that he had, and also basically how the process has been so far for him. So, Godfred, that has been Kelly, and in fact, it has been a sad atmosphere here at I'll say, Africa. So, let me get to Mr. Samidin for Stanley. Mr. Samidin for. All right, Mr. Samidin for. Now, tell us, we know there were some disagreements. Now, you have come to a resolution. Are you satisfied with the decision so far?
Not entirely. I think we have come to understand it from a strength. It's a very simple matter. A very, very simple matter. Registers are produced and certified by the party. They are given to the local commission, and copies are given to the party in the constituency. So once that happens, it becomes the official document that must be used. Then here we are, the sitting member of parliament comes to say that, there is record that's not the register to be used. Then I'm here, somebody come and show me another picture of a register on a mobile phone. So how? I mean, in which part of the world that voter registers are put on phones, and then the phones are shown to you that is that you or not, then you go and vote. No, I mean, it's not unacceptable. So whoever gives authority that send that kind of thing should formally, they're not dealing with ESS and phone calls and formally come up. And now what the understanding we have come to is that until it is resolved, the election for the Council of Elders and the patrons should be suspended.
Are you satisfied with that?
I'm not so happy because the people must be allowed to exercise their franchise. You know, don't forget, this has never happened in this constituency, where constituency executives and delegates are going for primaries. So everybody would want to have experience of what really happened. Everyone wants to have a taste of it. So when we are here now, that some people are going to be denying, all because somebody is holding another sheet thinking that, the sheet is having is different from what is in the register that was brought from the region and through the EC. It's very pitiful and very sad, you see, and there are all signs of when somebody is losing. I mean,
are you confident on running here?
Bro, I think you've been here for some time, and you've been having discussions around, and you know the vibe in the atmosphere. You know what is happening. Just waiting for 1 p.m. for us to come and then we'll be advantage. The margin will be so big that even the 10 delegates who are council leaders and patrons will not even be relevant.
There are 28 constituencies here. We've been to the very same place. What's your agenda on today?
We thank God it's been calm, it's been peaceful, it's been calm. Apart from what the sitting member of parliament, I mean, the confusion is sought to bring here, everything has been fine everywhere.
Thank you.
Yeah, hello, Doctor. So that's the situation here at
Thank you very much, Edward Opomafu. Keep your eyes on there. Very good job. We have spoken to Katie Hammond. We have spoken to Samuel Benfo. And Sammy and guys, it looks like the members of the Constituency Council of Elders and the members of the Constituency Council of Patrons, their vote has been put on hold until they are able to fix the album issue. So like we were saying, look out for the album debate. We've had a situation in Crowell, we've had this one, we've had a situation in Bantama as well, but they seem to be finding ways around it, which is the most important one, to get the elections done. Okay, so let me come to Asante Akim North, and Same, I'll give you, let me go to Duke for Asante Akim North, because both contestants have been in parliament before. Honorable Andy Kwame Appiah Kubi is the incumbent. He removed Honorable Kojoba Ajiman, first-term member of parliament. Now he's back. And there was a small incident with the delegates album yesterday. We don't know where that situation is now. But these are the two.
Interesting contest again. Let me begin with how Andy Kwame Appiah Kubi has done as a member of parliament. Andy Appiah Kubi has risen through the ranks in the party, in the New Patriotic Party. He was once SRC president at the University of Ghana, and is a lawyer, and coming into parliament in the initial stages, he was on the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee, and was quite good on the floor of the House until he became Deputy Minister for Railways, which is really a problem of the structure of our parliament, because the president has to appoint more than 50% of persons from the House. Usually, once the MPs get the appointments, their representational function, which is to be on the floor of the House to articulate the concerns from their members, usually is not very present. So Andy Appiah Kubi, and we remember once in his constituency, I think he went to make some donations to some people in the constituency during a Anido Fito's celebration which was not well received.
Yeah, they sent it back.
Yeah, they say which was not well received. So, and the appeal could be, but as I said earlier on, he's a very experienced politician. He's gone through the ranks, understands what happens. Kojo Banjiman also came in through the last election. Both of them contested. He became member of parliament, but he went out of parliament because of certain sentiments certain anti-party sentiments, looking at the person who was in charge of the party at the point in time. And so there are a group of members of parliament on a certain floor that there's a general perception that they belong to a certain part of the New Patriotic Party. He was one of the about 3 of those MPs survived the primaries in 2015. He's one of those who could not come back. Only a few of them survived. He's one of those who would not come back. So he's had to work very hard in the first 2 years to get appointed as chairman of the National Sports Authority, which is where he is now. And he's been able to ride on the gains of being National Sports Council Authority or National Sports Authority chairman to do quite a lot of things in his constituency. So he's been organizing the Asante Achim Marathon for quite some time now, speaking to the needs of the people, trying to get them, scholarships and things like that. Things which he has done quite well. In the final analysis, however, and the appeal could be, as I indicated earlier, may be losing ground because of the position that he's had as Railways Minister, which may not have translated into gains in the constituency on the ground, which at this point in time there is a firm perception that Kojo Banjiman has. It's very, very interesting.
It's a close race?
It's a close race. It's a close race, and getting to the end of when the chips are down, I think Apia Kubi may win.
Okay, so you are tipping Apia Kubi for that seat. I always want to say something quickly about that one before I go to Sami for Ejiso.
I think that Apia Kubi may be surprised. Maybe Kojo Banjiman may come back. Yeah.
Do you think Kojo Banjiman may come back?
Yes, with the sentiment from the constituency, it may come back. And see, look at the history of that. That was Honorable Kojo Banjiman who reduced constituency. And then when he died, then at that time, Andy Apia Kubi was like the person in line to take over the seat. Then Kojo Banjiman in a way succeeded in beating him to the seat and served the unexpired term, and then became another 4 years candidate. Then it happened that when the current MP came into being, it's like now the promises he gave the people, which were the basis for which they removed Kojo Banjiman. It turns out that he is not able to really show much of achievement in the promises he promised the people that he would do for them. So then Kojo Banjiman said, these are the things that the man used against me. But if it's obvious on the ground that he's not able to fulfill these things, then I'll take step and do what? And come back. So when you look at the dynamics and the issues, one of the issues that used to be there was this cattle and herdsmen and all that issue. And if you look at the time the issue came, you realize that Kojo Banjiman seemed to be on the side of the people, but the MP matter, and it's one of the issues why the MP is likely to lose the seat. Because the people felt that on that issue he has not been on their side the way he handled it. But Kojo Banjiman actually joined the people. They organized demonstration on that issue. So then the people have now have the impression that then we shouldn't have voted Kojo Banjiman. So then you realize Kojo Banjiman has gained that favor from the people back. And fortunately too, when he was one-term MP, at least he did some few things. And today he's able to point to that even when I was just 4 years, this is what I was able to do compared to what the person who took over from me has done, and see who will be a better MP. So if you look at the dynamics at that constituency now, I have the view and the confidence that Kojo Banjiman is likely to beat the city MP.
Okay, interesting. Duke thinks Apia Kubi will retain by slightly. Elvis is of a different opinion. Let me go to Ejiso and deal with Sami Riafi, where we have the incumbents being Kwabena Owusu Ediomi. And he's been challenged by NEIP boss, John Apuntia Kuma, and another public office holder, the CEO of the Golden Beach Hotels, Abna Pukia Amwa Boite. Sami, how is this going to go?
As you mentioned, Godfred, the incumbent NP, Ediomi, happens to be Deputy Roads Minister. Yeah, happens to be Deputy Road Minister. And he rose through the ranks from a road engineer to become the regional road engineer in the Ashanti region before, election as member of parliament to that particular constituency. The accusations against him in that constituency is that the roads in that part is not good enough. So they feel that as a deputy roads minister, in your constituency there, you could have done more. You could have done more for them when it comes to road. Though he admitted that he's fixed a number of them, but not all the roads in the constituency are fixed, and that's what his campaign, his opponents are using against him. John Kuma happens to be the favorite in that constituency. This is the second time he's challenging the incumbent member of parliament. The last time was in, I think, 2012, and he lost by just 65 votes. Yeah, if you know John Kuma very well, a former student leader, was bitten to the LSRC presidency of the University of some years ago. He was one of the founders still in existence now. He's currently the CEO of the National Entrepreneurship Innovation Program. And he was appointed by president. So he's leveraging on this particular current position to get more employment for the people of Ejiso. When you speak to him, he'll tell you that, I've done this, I managed to secure a job for this number of people in this country. So he's riding on the back of his achievements in the last 3 years since his appointment as CEO of this particular organization. The third candidate is
nobody's talking about her.
They call her Ejiso Broni. Ejiso Broni. She's very fair. Okay. And she looks like a white woman. So the people of Ejiso call her Ejiso Broni. Okay. She's into hotel management and stuff. That's why she's the CEO of the Golden including Beach. The La Palm Royal Beach. Visibility about her in the constituency is low. When you speak to the people there, they hardly see her, even though once in a while she show her face during events, social events, funerals.
But we are told she's a significant employer in the constituency because her hotel is there.
Her hotel, she runs a hotel there. Only quite a sizable people get employed. But the accusation against her is that you run not only this hotel, you are the CEO of the Golden Beach Hotel, which are the chain of hotels and direct. So the expectation is that you employ the young women and men in that constituency to this particular new venture that you are in. In recent time, there was a demonstration against her by workers of La Palm Royal Beach. That ever since she came, she's made some changes. The people are not comfortable with this change and the rest. So series of demonstration against her. Ejiso Broni, as they call her. But for me, my take is for John Kuma. John Kuma is going to.
So for you, the incumbent is losing.
The incumbent is losing.
Kwabena Owusu Ediomi, according to my panel, will be unseated as incumbent. You share that opinion?
Absolutely. Following John Kuma, as the last 4 years he tried very hard. He could not win, but luckily for him, he's heading an institution that is supporting Ghanaians who want to start their own small business in the same way.
That always seems to be an advantage.
Yeah, so that's a big advantage.
It's always an advantage.
A big advantage. It's not free money, but through him you've gotten access to that money to be able to start your own business. You see, the delegates would prefer a system that supports them to start their own business, become independent, than depending on the candidate and waiting for 4 years to harvest cocoa. So if someone like John Kuma is heading such an institution that can assist the young people, and which include the delegates who wants to go into their own small ventures to have access to some capital, obviously, even though it's a state institution, the person will say, what if John Kuma is not there? Will I have that access to the fund? Because the fund is for all Ghanaians. So it will become an issue. So for me, I think that John Kuma has been very prominent in the NPP campaign in 2016. 2012, 2013, he's been very prominent everywhere, canvassing for the party's position and why people should vote for it. So he having this access in government now and wants to go back as a member of parliament. I think that there's no way the MP will be able to survive this onslaught.
Okay, now I'm touching on the Ashanti region. I just touch on a few other constituencies. Then we move to the Eastern region. I'm doing this because these are the two strongest NPP regions. So then after that we move to other places.
Let me add this. See, if the party was in opposition, or if somebody was competing Nanado, you would have had this faction of this person is the president's man, and this person is the other person who is competing the president or the main candidate. And that could also have played a role in the division of the delegates as to who they should vote for or not. But thankfully, Nanado is going, nobody's contesting him. So this idea of this candidate might be this person's favorite and all that is not rearing its heads as it would have been if somebody is contesting Nanado. So I think that has brought some form of sanity and calm into the situation and has helped to create a little bit of level playing field. If not, we would have had a more serious situation where even the candidate may be good, but then somebody say, no, this person is this person's candidate, so let's vote for this person's candidate. I think that this time, and that is why some of these sitting MPs are likely to lose, because they couldn't use the argument that this person belongs to this candidate, so they vote for him. So now you have to go on your own strength. So if someone like John Kuma and Sticker and Co, who are heading state institutions, and those institutions actually provide some direct support to individuals, and the delegates who are going to decide actually have benefited for some of these initiatives which are government-owned or state-owned, they may see that if that person may not be there, maybe I may not have been considered and given that, because I'm not the only person who applied for it, but I may have gotten it because the candidate has actually taken serious interest. And the truth is that some of these people, they actually go to the delegates and ask them to apply for some of these facilities so that they can assist them have access to it. And therefore it becomes a campaign tool for them. So for somebody like John Kuma and Sticker, I think that they are going through is just going to be something that should be expected.
Okay, so I'll take you quickly to Afija Sokore for a report. Judgment is there where Kwame Adoma Pia is contesting Nana Ayu a free year, and we are picking up words, I mean, that an assault has taken place. One of the candidates is at the hospital, so we will bring you details about that one in a bit. That is the Afija Asokore race in the Ashanti region between Kwame Adoma Pia and Nana Ayu a free year. All right, so let's touch base quickly on a couple of, quickly just tell us who will win there. Let's talk Kumewu so that we can move to the Eastern region. So Kumewu, I just mentioned the candidates, you can tell me who will win. So Philip Basoa is there, Edward Kufia say, Philip Albano, and the Deputy Trades Minister, Roberta Kwame Akoto has moved from the Central region to the Ashanti region to try his luck. Elvis, quickly. That's the Kumewu constituency. Okay, let me start from what else goes through that. Let me just.
I think Baswa would win.
Baswa will retain his seat. Okay, Baswa. So Ahomkalinsi does not stand a chance there. My panelists think. Then we make a stop at Menshia North. Collins also Amankwa and Akusi Kunedu.
This is a new contest. Actually. It's a new contest because the major issue for those in that area, Bokrom Estates and the rest, has been its roads. And Collins also Amankwa has done his bit to ensure that they have all their roads are paved, and it's been done. I mean, very well. If you have ears on the ground in Kumasi, he's been compared to Muntaka in terms of the road network that has been paved in Kumasi. And I think that based on what the real gains that people have seen on the ground in terms of what he's been able to deliver as Member of Parliament, he should be able to.
Okay, quickly. Then Same, Oforikru, Honorable Emmanuel Mafo and Emmanuel Yadowanka, two doctors.
Interesting way, but I'll go for Dr. Emmanuel Mafo.
You go for Mafo. Yeah. Okay. So for you, Mafu's the incumbent retains his seat. And then Elvis, let me come to you. Old Tafo, where Dr. Akoto said was, we have 6 persons contesting. Vincent Akoto, your good friend, PRO of the Education Ministry is that about in Triakwa, Louis Carol Sewa Donko, who is a policy analyst and communication strategist at the Office of the President, Lord Inu Salansa Emmanuel Obin, who you have your money on?
It's quite...
It's a close race for you?
It's a very close race.
Okay.
And because, you see, the current MP is not going.
Yes.
If you look at the background, so Louisa, they will tell you that she's done her bit, and the father too is a powerhouse
in the constituency.
And if you look at Vincent, maybe he has done a lot at the constituency, and probably maybe his appointment at the Ministry of Education, how well he uses that to be able to get whatever favors he needed at the constituency may play a role.
But for you, it's a straight fight between those two.
That's what I see. That's how I see. I think that they are young, and if you look at the trend now, I think that the MPP is looking at the fact where you see people are looking at, let's give the youth a chance, younger people some chance. So I see that these two people could really pose a threat to be the leaders as against those who are coming in, and that's how I will look at it. It could be either Carol or Vincent. That's what I said.
Gentlemen?
For me, it's a 3-horse race. Vincent, Carol, and there's this doctor. I've forgotten the other one.
Mention the name.
Doctor. Godfred, remind me. You
mean in...
Dr. Chinibwa or so.
So we have Archibald in Triakwa, we have Professor Odenho, Lord Inu Salansa, and then Louis Carroll.
No, Odenho Pia. He's a medical practitioner. Okay. He has a hospital in that particular constituency. A lot of people say that, because of this election, people who go in there to seek medical help are not asked to pay, because it's a way to get support of the people in that.
So hold on for me. Let me go straight to Dome Kwabenya, where Umar Rusanda is currently based, and he is in company of Mike Okwe Jr., who wants to unseat Sarah Joasafo, the incumbent MP. So we can go over to Umar Rusanda. From there, we'll go to the Eastern region. Gentlemen, we will look there at Impraeso, one of the big races happening in there. We'll also look at the Kuapim South, where Obiamwa seems to be having some challenges as well. So, Umar Rusanda.
To win. So we are very hopeful that we'll be winners in this primaries today.
The question would be that this is not the first time you're trying. What new trick are you going to put in the ring?
Well, if that was the case, then Mr. President would not be president today. So, as I said, we've spoken to the delegates. That was a very funny question, but I'm laughing because,
He has been trying since '97. So
yeah, I know, but no, like that. We all know that democratically, the MP was chosen by the delegates 8 years ago. So the same delegates, by our rules and regulations, will determine if you have done a good job as far as they are concerned, they'll maintain you. If you haven't done a good job, they'll change you. So I make my case that she hasn't, she'll make a case that she has. And we are confident that there'll be change in this constituency.
What are the factors that make you conclude that she has not done well?
Well, we are not allowed to campaign today.
No, you're not campaigning. You're telling us what
but that's a campaign. It's a message. And we are not allowed to campaign today, so I can't go into that controversy. But all I want to assure you is that we've spoken to the delegates, and if they buy what I'm saying, then they'll vote for me. If they buy what my sister is saying, then they'll vote for her. Look, this is a very, very straightforward process. The elephant is always the winning symbol. So in the long run, MPP wins. So we both have to be magnanimous in victory, whoever wins, and we take it from there.
So that's an assurance that we will not hear any butu-butu from Michael Kwe, whether he wins or he loses.
Oh, well, you should look at my history and track record. First of all, I'm not known as somebody who does butu-butu. Because when I lost 9 years ago, the next morning, with all the pain and the hurt, I put my opponent's picture on my gate to symbolize to my supporters that the contest has ended the elephant is the winning symbol. Secondly, you have known me for a very long time in the media. I've done so many programs in City FM. I have never ever even insulted an opponent or been violent with anybody. It's not my nature, it's not my style. I mean, sometimes I may be vociferous and state a point clearly and forcefully, but never violently antagonize anybody or insult anybody. So I can assure you that that would never happen. I've been well brought up, and I will never be doing a thing like that. The President of the Republic, who is one of my mentors, is someone I look up to, and I can assure you that this would never happen in this race.
The controversial issue of a voter album, the album you're using for today, has it bothered you in any way? Has it gone to your advantage or disadvantage? Any challenges so far? All the tour you've been doing all morning?
Yeah, let me use this opportunity to congratulate the regional executive, especially the regional chairman, because when that controversy arose, the way he handled it, now at present, an album was brought to the Parliamentary Elections Committee. The Parliamentary Elections Committee went through the album. There were quite a few mistakes. They wrote a report on it. They went, the matters were corrected. And now we have a fantastic album with no issues. So that matter has been squashed and everybody is happy with what is going on.
We are voting in COVID era. The centers you visited, are you observing the protocols? Are they being observed, the basic amenities, Veronica buckets, hand sanitizers, masks, and all of these things? Have you done an observation? How is it looking like?
I have not had the opportunity to climb up yet, which I'm going to, but I've visited 5 centers, and all the 5 centers I've been to, everything, all the social protocols, social distancing, Veronica buckets, soap, tissue, hand sanitizers, and all have been present. So far, so good.
Thank you so much. So that's Mike Okwe Jr. He's a parliamentary hopeful aspirant for this particular constituency, the Dom Kwabenya constituency, hoping to take over on a long chain though from his father, who was once the minister, the member of parliament for this particular constituency, before deciding to step down, and now nominated and appointed the Speaker of Parliament of the Republic, Professor Michael Okwe. Now, Michael Okwe Jr. is going strongly against Sarah Joasafo, a Minister of State in charge of procurement, a Member of Parliament, currently 2-term Member of Parliament, someone who has been very active in defeating Michael Okwe on 2 consecutive occasions. Again, someone who has been nominated as a Deputy Majority Leader, despite being also appointed Minister of State. And so this particular area is the atomic voting area. There are over 1,400 delegates who will be voting here today. 400 of them are expected to be voting at this particular center, which is the Atomic Center. There are several other areas in the Dom Kwabenya constituency. Of course, there's Atomic Hacho, and all those key areas where people will be voting. And we've been touring around these centers, observing for you. But this seems to be the center of attraction because this will be the coalition center. I'm going to go now upstairs to observe what is happening at the voting area. Of course, you can see the party paraphernalia, police heavily deployed. The regional and regional commander has been here already. You've seen what he has been observing, heard what he's been saying, Mr. Edwenim. He's flanked by the Director of Operations of the police in the Accra region. Let's climb upwards to the Atomic polling station. Michael Okwe Jr., a candidate in this contest, is going around to observe things for himself. Let's hear what interactions there would be and how the exercise has been so far, according to what his agents would be saying to him, and perhaps what the Electoral Commission officers here would also be saying. This is still a coverage from the Dom Kwabenya constituency of the Greater Accra region. Now to the extreme left is the polling station, polling center that has been set up. Electoral officers are seated, waiting for delegates to come in and go through the voting process. There is a register that has to be observed. A critical element, the ballot box at this center, and there's the Atomic Area polling station. The polling booths have been provided, 2 polling booths, And let me move in there and see if I could do a quick conversation with the lead here. Hello, who is the leader of the team? Okay. So this is a process ongoing. There's an agent, a party agent. They're looking through the register if your name is in there. And so, all right. So this person has been ticked to go through. Madam, can we get a comment? Can we get a comment from you? How the exercise has been so far?
Let me finish with that.
Okay, great. So this person produces. There's an ID that has to be produced, and that will allow you to vote. Madam, my name is Umaru. This is City TV. What's your name?
My name is Janet Cranton. I'm the presiding officer here.
How has it been so far?
It has been very smooth and peaceful.
How many people will be voting here today, or expected to vote?
143.
443.
143.
143. How many have voted so far?
We have about 131.
So you're almost done?
Yes, please.
What happens when you finish and it's not 1 p.m.?
We will still wait until 1. Yes.
So what happens after that? At 1 p.m. what happens?
After 1 p.m. we open our boxes, sort out and collect the results, and we do the declaration.
This is also going to be the coalition center.
Yes.
So you put your box aside and wait for the rest of the polling people to
our sorting, put our electoral area results somewhere, and waiting for the others to come.
Do you have agents for both candidates here?
Yes, we have.
They've been satisfied with what they've been doing so far. Thank you. There seems to be some. I'm not sure what is happening.
You don't call the police. Come back. Bring that. Come back. Go back. No. Go back. Go back.
There seems to be just a little disagreement between the voting people here.
Master, what you're doing is
it has to do.
No. Please, the regulation is no. 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 The point is, if anything happens, bring the attention of them. No. Is it? Are they fighting? Who has broken the law?
Well, so it was just perhaps a little misunderstanding, but it seems things have been, the police have moved in, so clearly we should be expecting order here. It had to do with someone, an agent apparently trying to coach a voter on what to do, and that did not sit well with the agents here, with other agents here, and other persons of interest. Hello. What seems to be the problem?
We are okay.
There's no problem. Clearly burying the hatchet and moving on. No challenge whatsoever. This is City TV's coverage in the Don Kwabenya constituency. My name is Umaru Sanda. Back to you, Godfred Akoto Boafo and the team.
The presiding officer has the ultimate.
Okay, so that seems to be the drama at the Dome Kwabenya constituency. Michael Kwejinia are around. They seem to be sorting it out, but as expected, tensions are high. Hopefully, it does not get out of hand. I'll still take you to the Efijase Asokware area in the Ashanti region, where, as I reported, one of the candidates has ended up at the police station and later on at the hospital after being assaulted. This is 97.3 City FM and CCTV's coverage of the NPP primaries. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll delve into the eastern region, analyze a couple of seats there, and move around the country.
extra minutes and extra unlimited calls. Not just that, even our extra data doesn't expire. You need fill up? Simply dial *111# to bundle now.
Airtel Tigo. Life is simple.
Businesses are evolving with the changing times, and the City Business Festival is doing the same. In the month of June, the City Business Festival goes digital. City TV, in collaboration with Absa Bank, will give SMEs the opportunity to reboot their businesses with expert forums, discussion platforms, and interactive Zoom sessions. There will be a lesson for every business. Join the virtual business forums every Tuesday in June at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and gain the knowledge you need to kickstart your business. Explore new ways of engaging your customers with the e-commerce forum on Tuesday, the 9th of June at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Get tips from the Agribusiness Forum on how to create another career in agribusiness on Tuesday, the 16th of June 2020 at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And get all the industry knowledge with the Trade Forum on the topic, Will Export Trade Be the Same Again? On the 23rd of June 2020 at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Revamp your business and work environment this June with the virtual business forums only on City TV every Tuesday at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. To be interactive and ask questions pertinent to your business, join in the forum via Zoom. To participate via Zoom, register by calling 0205-973-973. That's 0205-973-973. City Business Festival is powered by City TV and Absa Bank with support from the Ghana Investments and Promotion Center.
Welcome back to our coverage of the MPP primaries, and you can send your messages so far on the coverage from wherever you are across the country. 0549986996, 0549986996, and a couple of messages that have come in. Let me just take a few. Kofi Sika says, there has been wanton disregard and flouting of protocols all across the nation in the MPP's primaries. No washing of hands, social or physical distancing, nothing. People were fined for flouting these regulations. What to be done to the obvious disregard of the regulations today? Do we have a different set of people? Positive change from Medina says, I wish the MPP 16. Okay, Jones Adoboy says, they touch themselves with all the acolytes you can think of. When it comes to elections, democracy and economy, what are we seeing today? The exact opposite. And Mohammed Sadiq also sends in a message and says 66 MPP aspirants who were made to go unopposed defeated the purpose of democratic elections. What the MPP did was a denial of the electorate's right to choose people they want to represent them in public. Other messages are coming through, but I want us to go to the eastern region. Now, we've done a bit of the Ashanti region comprehensively. Let's go to the eastern region. I want to start from Nkokwo, and Nkokwo is one of the big races in one of the most important regions for the MPP. So we have Eric Kwachi Dafoe, who is the Eastern Regional Minister, Duke. Yes, he's the Eastern Regional Minister. Joyce Opoku Boateng is the Deputy CEO of the Middle Belt Development Authority. Joseph Frimpong is there. He's a teacher. Kwabena Edusa Okeachire is a former member of parliament for the constituency, as is Seth Ejeba, if the name sounds familiar, because you know him as Shaba. Yes, business mogul also in there. And then David Boateng Asante, young man, that is Let My Vote Count Alliance, and also current CEO of the Ghana Publishing Company. So big race in Nkokwo. Who wants to go first? Duke.
It's an interesting race. It will be very, very interesting. But I think that I'll stick my neck out for the regional minister. The regional minister has done well in terms of ensuring that the gains of being regional minister has translated to the people of Nkokwo. And Nkokwo is, well, most of us know it's a commercial area, very busy with all of the activities because of its central location in the eastern region. I think he's done quite well. Looking at the contestants who are coming up against him, David Asante Boateng, young person, I think he has a lot more to do to get the favor of the delegates. Kwabena Dusau Ketchere, he may not have what it takes anymore to be able to convince the new crop of delegates who are there. He probably doesn't have a hold on the constituency executives and other people who matter when it comes to getting the results in an election of this matter. Sete Jeba has been in and around the constituency. After winning, he has tried his luck in other places. And so if you go back to contest in Nkoko, the delegates will ask you, why are you coming back here now? Depending on how he's able to convince them, he may be able to do, he may not be able to do that. So in summary, on the whole, I think that the minister, the regional minister, is known to be someone who also does his politics very well on the ground and knows how to get people to do what he wants them to do, even if sometimes it may be through unorthodox means. Recently, he was at a radio station when he felt that some sentiments or some arguments that were being made on that radio station were not in his favor. All in all, I think the regional minister will win. That's my prediction.
And there have been reports, that he doesn't get on very well with Joseph Okubuatin.
Well, it is so because they are the two main contenders, if I want to put it that way. Within the Nkoko township, the regional minister is not really popular within the Nkoko township. But the surrounding villages, JJT, and the rest, he's very popular among the people there. So a lot of delegates come from those particular small towns, and then we'll add up to what's going to happen in Nkoko. But one factor is also that people also don't know that the regional minister has been a regional treasurer before of the MPP in the Eastern region, before he became an MP. Yeah. So within the region, he has some sort of support because of his party position as a regional treasurer formally. So for me, as you said, I side with I'll stick my neck out for the regional minister. And when you look at the other candidates, for instance, Shaba Setejeba, a former MP, and is the current board chair of Maslog. It looks like the Maslog officials all want to go to Parliament. Looking at Steka, and then the board chair, and then the deputy CEO who is going to Yendi. It looks as if all of them want to go to Parliament. And Shaba is coming into this race to salvage his image, one way or the other, because he is seen as an outsider. He contested as independent candidate and he won. Now he's coming back on the ticket of the party for people to know that, yeah, indeed, I'm still a member of the MPP. For me, that's how I see the reason why he wants to come out. David Asante, a young man, CEO of the Ghana Publishing Company, is because of security, as Duke said. The president can wake up one day and say, you're fired. I'm sacking you. What else are you going to do? So if I secure a position in Parliament, or I go to Parliament, I am secured for the next 4 years. No one can sack me. Only delegates or the people in the constituency can give me the vote. Kwabena Okejua is the former member of Parliament, trying to make an attempt again for the seat. And then Joseph Frimpong, he's a teacher, and resource-wise, he's very low. He's got other people, supporting him, I'll mention names, but then it looks as if the resources that he wants, he's not getting. And
then some of these races, those under-resourced persons tend to end up shocking. They're the ones you don't look at, but then they end up winning.
I've said, and I'll repeat, that in today's election, 90% of those who will win
have the deepest pockets.
Are those with the deepest pockets. And when the results begin to come in from 1 o'clock, you see what I'm telling you. I'm telling you now.
Okay.
And then Joyce Opoku, deputy CEO of Middle Belt. In Nkoko Brighton's Park, you are in sports, so you know that particular. Yes, that stadium has been down for God knows how many years. She tried to revive it, and she's in the process. And obviously, when you bring out Brighton's Park, Oko United, my team, is back. So that has been her campaign message, to get the Oko Brighton's Park back and then get Oko United again. So for me, it's a tough race between the incumbent MP, the regional minister, and Joyce, but I think the MP will win.
So for you are choosing Eric Kwakye Dafo,
the member of Parliament for the area.
Okay. All right, then let me move then to.
But David Asante has done a good job at the Ghana Publishing.
Yeah.
If you see,
but has to have that to reflect.
Yeah, that's
the constituency.
This is the issue you are talking about. This is the issue I'm talking about.
I'm not counting. I think a year or two ago, he was one of the best promising CEO in Ghana. Yeah,
you understand it. This is where my issue comes in. Are we looking at people who are elected who will then end up transforming the country? Is it the regional minister? The reason regional ministers
he's doing well. The regional minister.
This is assembly, DCs and co. The reason they win elections is that they control the resources. The local government system is the agency for development. So if an MC or DC or a regional minister want to contest for an elections, it's easy for that person to win because see, as a regional minister. He is the boss of all the MMDCs in the region, so he can just have a good relationship with the MC or DC for Nkoko and make sure that they put their heads together and do the kind of things that will make the people there happy with him for him to go to get the seat. If he wants to get the delegates on his side, it's easier for him to do. That gives them advantage. That's why anytime an MMDC want to contest the city MP, there is fear because on the ground. They have the resources in terms of development and they are with the people on daily basis, so they are able to do petty things even for the delegates, for them to be happier than you, the person who is coming in from somewhere. But if I look at what David Asante has done at Ghana Publishing, I think if you look at the state-owned enterprises, he is one person that has done a fantastic job, because if you look at how Ghana Publishing was before his appointment and where he has taken Ghana Publishing to today. If we are talking about sterling performance of a state-owned institution, Ghana Publishing is one of the best under this administration.
Okay.
So if somebody like that wants to go and serve in parliament, if you want to, based on his track record at Ghana Publishing, you would have said he should have been the person to go. And if you look at his role in the alliance he heads and what they have done in terms of MPPs, advocacy for victory to 2016 till now, and this is the guy who led the Let My Vote Count Alliance. If you want to look at all this,
he has a significant case to make.
But as Samir has said, the conviction is that over 90% of those who will win today will be those with a big pocket. In fact, yesterday I monitored a radio program, and delegates were calling from constituencies where the big wigs were favored, and they were crying, and they said they are not going to make anything. This is season for them to make something. This people should have been competent. Can you imagine 6 candidates in a constituency, everybody giving you 500, 1,000. You will make 6,000 CDs in your pocket, and yet the case your candidate has been made an unopposed candidate. Now, if it comes to even give you 500 CDs, you have no choice but have to accept because you can't take the status quo. So the delegates themselves, this system and people who are going unopposed, their delegates are actually crying that why did the party do that? Because they have spoiled their market. This is the market for them to do something.
Quickly, I will be checking up on Asante Akim South in a bit. On Asante Akim Central, where Asante Akim Central, where Kwame Anyimedu Entry and Kofi of Fusum Cancer are contesting, hearing some reports from there. So I'll be checking up on that one. That is Konongo area. Yeah. Yes, very big seat. We'll be checking up on that one. But Duke, let's talk in Praeso. Seth Kwame Achampong, that's another major parliamentarian. He's chairman of the Defense
and
Interior Committee against AFAC's David Ansa Opoku, also known as OPK. Yes. In Praeso,
it's not a difficult one.
Seth Kwame Achampong is the incumbent.
It's not a difficult one.
At all.
He's the incumbent.
Yes, I know.
He's done quite well as a member of Parliament, as chairman of Defense and Interior Committee. And Praeso is about a contest for supremacy in the Eastern region. So there is another major contender in the region. I may not be able to say certain who is behind the other candidate. That's OPK. In his own right, he's done some work as from AFAC to the Crew Professionals Network, which is used as a conduit over a period of time to ensure that his presence on the ground is felt. But in times like this, the experienced politicians always show that
Sammy, you share the sentiments. Okay, fine. So let's do a Kwapim South. Well, Obiamwa is being contested. Eric Samuelano. What's happening there?
Well, Obiamwa we all know, but you know that constituency was in Saum Edreji was part of that constituency until the division came, and then Obiamwa went to Kwapim North, and then Francis Anodompe came to Saum Edreji. I am tipping Obiamwa to win because when you go to that particular constituency, Godfred, development he has done quite well in that particular constituency. A deputy minister for local government brought in some sort of appreciable development in that area. So for me, my money is on Obiamwa. I tip Obiamwa to win.
Okay, then put these two together for me as well. Suhum Frederick Opariansa is being contested by Kojo Asante.
Yes. For Kojo Asante, it's a no-go area. Even as of last week, the youth they organized more or less a town hall meeting among the two aspirants.
Frederick Opariansa and
Kojo failed to show up. He failed to show up, and the youth issued a strong-worded statement warning him that ahead of this primaries, he shouldn't step foot in that particular constituency. they will see him as an alien.
Okay.
In that constituency. So for me, Frederick Opariansa is my tip. He's retaining that seat. And remember that seat, Brian Samoa. Why do I say Brian Champong? You remember also had eye on that particular seat. He and Opariansa fought it out.
Yeah.
I think on 2 or 3 occasions before he finally decided to go to a BT. So for me, I'm tipping Opariansa to win that seat.
Okay. And another interesting one, you've already had your take on the New Jabbing South, which was the other big one we were watching in the area. You are hoping Asibe Eboa wins, but it looks like Ochibe Efi is favorite.
Well, that Ochibe Efi actually seems to be favorite. For the view that the guy has been a businessman in the community for quite some time, so he actually has some strong grounding among the people and the delegates. In view of that, he has become the CEO of the Free Zones Board, and you know that's quite a very important organization. As to how he used that position to benefit the delegates, I can't tell. But I think that there's also this view that he is somebody who is close to the president. But Asibe doesn't seem to have that relationship in the view of people. So they think that obviously this time round it's as if Befi stands tall among the delegates to be able to unseat Asibe Eboa. But Asibe Eboa also has I know he has some strong people, including some members of parliament, even from the region, who wish that he's maintained, and they are doing their bit also behind the doors to support him to retain the seat. So it's quite an interesting seat. It's going to be tough, and I think that the results will be close. Okay. Results will be close, but for now, slightly looks like Befi is likely to unseat Asibe Eboa, even though I wished that Asibe Eboa had. No, for me,
I get you, don't worry.
Because when you look at the history, when I see Bagman leaving Parliament, it hurts me.
Worry.
The work this man has done, his level of knowledge in parliamentary issues and governance issues, he's going.
All right.
So it's quite painful.
Let me come to Greater Accra quickly. Quite a lot of significant races also here. For those, Elvis was making reference to some persons who are going on opposed. So for instance, if you come to Accra, you have Ursula. She's not going to be contested. That is Member of Parliament for Ablekuma West. Deputy Health Minister Tina Ayele Mensah is also not being contested, unopposed. Patrick Abuama is going unopposed. Henry Korte is going unopposed. Bernard Okoboy is going unopposed. From the Ashanti region, which you just left, Dr. Yawase Educhum, Bosomtri MP is going unopposed. Joe Sewu Superkwai unopposed. Isaac Esiama unopposed. Patricia Pieje unopposed. Osechi Mensah Bonsusuame unopposed. Matipoko Prempeh is also going unopposed, as is Francisco Ortin Mensah unopposed. If you go to the Central Region, notable names: Mavis Hawa Kumsen, Special Initiatives Minister, going unopposed. Afenyo Markin going unopposed. Kennedy Ejapong also going unopposed. In the Western Region, Andrew Kufuor Mensah is going unopposed. Babrotin Jesse George Mekuduka and Joe Gatti also going unopposed. And don't forget, we'll continue to bring you updates from across the country. PP is about what? An hour and 30 minutes away from closing the polls. 1 p.m. the voting will end. Counting will begin, and we'll be here to bring you the latest in the results. As we have told you, our correspondents are everywhere. You've heard from some of them, and they will keep joining us. We'll still be looking to speak to Nadole Mofat from Ladade Kotokpong, Elvis Washington from Tema East. And since we are in Accra, let us begin the conversation. Okay, so Ablekuma North is where we will start from. Sheila Bartels, if her last name sounds familiar, yes, you guessed right. Her father used to be member of parliament. Kojo Poku Ejebewa is there. John Kojo Agbote is there. Nana Kuya Owusu Efriye is there. Samuel Yafi, where's your money on? Who's your money on?
Godfred, for this particular constituency, I will not stick my neck out for anyone.
It's very close.
It's not very close, but I won't stick my neck out for anyone. So you could look at the incumbent MP, Efriye, and then John Kojo, but he's a lawyer. Mm-hmm. He lives in Awoshi, and is within that constituency. Kojo Poku Ejebewa happens to be the son of Ghana's ambassador to the US, Ambassador Bewa. He was also a former ambassador to Japan. And then Sheila Bartels, the daughter of Kwamina Bartels, board chair of GOIL. And she happened to be the founder of the Hope Campaign.
Yes.
Remember before the 2016 election?
Point blank.
Yes, she happens to be the founder of that particular campaign, which caught up, and then a lot of people, MPP supporters, bought into the idea. She's credited to be a young lady who is very innovative when it comes to the creation of these things, and the people of that particular constituency believe that if they have her as a member of parliament, I'm sure things will work out well for them. But I won't stick my neck out in this constituency.
It's a hard contest for you.
For obvious reasons.
Okay, so Duke, do you dare? Ablekuma North.
Ablekuma North. A resourced candidate against an unimpressive member of parliament. Okay. That's how I'll capture it. Not impressive.
She hasn't done well in parliament.
Hardly she be heard in parliament.
She's not done well in parliament.
Okay, so you think that is what gives Sheila Bartels a chance?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Then let me come to Elvis. Elvis, I give you a Denton, where the MPP's communications director happens to be the member of parliament, and he's being challenged by Alfred Abibu Kumi.
I think I will tip Yabobi Asamo to retain the seat for NPP. See, the Delta seat is one seat that, since the Fourth Republic, there's no political that has really maintained that seat. Yeah. You win, you lose the next election, and that person wins. And, the NDC have maintained one candidate there for the past, I think, 2 or 3 elections. That is Ramadan. And I think he's really gained some grounds in that constituency. So if MPP really has any chance of making history and saying that for the first time MPP has retained that seat, I think Yabwadi Asama gives them a better chance than the new candidate if it comes to the fight against the NDC. And I think if the delegates look at it from that perspective, I think that they should be maintaining Yabwadi as against the new candidate.
All right, thank you very much. Let me go to the line now and speak to Elvis Washington. He's in Tema. He's been to Tema East, where Daniel Nee Titus Glover is facing off against Benjamin Ashitama. He's currently at Tema Central, where Charles Forson, Kofi Brako is the incumbent member of parliament, Ajiman Prempeh Ramsia and Eve Hansen Norte are challenging Kofi Brako for that seat. Elvis, what can you report from Tema East and Central?
Okay, thank you so much. Good morning.
Good afternoon. Well, currently I'm at Tema Central Republic Road School, to be precise. And everything is actually moving on smoothly. As I moved around this morning, I went to some part of Tema West and then some part of Tema Central and Tema East. And I'm back to Tema Central. But at Tema East, I went to the Komowa Electra area where that is actually the hotspot of Tema East. And indeed, everything is actually under control as of this morning when I was there. And the candidates, their agents are all very much available and very much ready and prepared for the day. So what is actually going on is that Dr. Benjamin Asite and Honorable Cyprus Global are the two candidates actually trying to contest the seat over there. And Dr. Benjamin Asite has been around for some time. And he is actually one person who is seen as a very hot contender when it comes to the Tema East seat. And as we speak today, the delegates are also ready and they're going about everything smoothly. And we are looking for it that by the close of the day, which is 1 o'clock, we'll see what the delegates would come up with, whether they are going with Dr. Benjamin Asite or the Honorable Titus Godfred Akoto Boafo.
All right, then.
At Tema Central, I'm currently at Republic Road School, and I'm at here there are 7 polling centers here. And so far, it's not just one delegate to cast the ballot and then they will be done here. But so far, Tema Central has been peaceful and everything is actually going on smoothly. I caught up with one of the candidates who raised some concerns earlier. There's this lady who has moved to another level within the party. So per the party rules, her name should have been expunged from the register. But that didn't happen. And so this lady's name was still maintained in the register. She came to the polling center and she was actually denied to vote by the polling agent of Mr. Kofi Brako, the incumbent member of parliament. According to them, the lady has actually moved on to another level within the party, and per the party structure, she is actually not supposed to vote once the opposition changes. But the issue also tells me that once the name is in the register and she's been given an accreditation, the lady must vote. So that became a little bit of an issue. But that was addressed. But so far she speaks, she's actually waiting to cast her ballot. She's not been given the green light to vote yet. But I spoke with a task person who actually believes that today is his day. And he is going to carry the day here as we speak. So for now, everything is actually moving on smoothly within Tema East, Tema West, and Tema Central. So far, there's not been any issues, there's not been any confusion, and they are all going about their duties responsibly and peacefully.
All right, then. Thank you very, very much, Elvis Washington from Tema. And we are still in Accra. My good friend Elvis in-house. I looked at Adentan where he's tipping Yabuabia Samoa. Guys, you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So if you agree on Yabuabia Samoa, let's look at La Dade Kotopo.
I thought we talk about the Tema ones that you mentioned.
We'll get to Tema. You leave the Tema for last. So let me deal with La Dade Kotopo, where Vincent Sowell, Joseph Gerald, Tete Nyanyufio, and Comfort Adekote are contesting the seat. Now, there are those who feel Vincent Sowell has lost the luster of the 2015 period when he came in on the back of so much excitement. Yes. And perhaps they even say that is why the government was confident enough to remove him as a minister. What are his chances?
Well, Godfred, they may be right because being a minister and then all of a sudden no reason was given and your position taken from you. Obviously, you have opponents using that against you. Already, he was growing unpopular on the ground. Even though, according to him, when he came on Point Blank and Umar Sanda spoke to him, he outlined some of the things he's been able to do in the constituency, which are very, very visible for everybody to see. But to have your appointment terminated by the president, opponents will obviously use it against you. When you look at his opponent, Joseph Gerald, he he's a lecturer at UPSA, and he's someone who has lived in that constituency for a long while, held a number of party positions. People feel he's a grassroots person and the go-to person when they have issues with regards to the party. So the sentiment on the ground is that yes, Vincent hasn't done so well. The next alternative or option could be Joseph, but they are also forgetting Comfort. They call her Ma Comfort. She's a nurse.
Okay.
She's a nurse in the like general hospital. That's what I'm told. I stand to be corrected though. In that particular area, and you know, being a nurse, people come to you and say, "Give me this, give me that, give me that." So she's gradually won the hearts of a lot of people within the constituency, and I feel she's also someone who can give Vincent Odote a run for his money today.
Okay, but you're not making any predictions.
No.
Duke?
Vincent Odote, so in the last few days, observing him, looks quite ruffled. Looks quite ruffled because I remember last week there was a story that was done against him by a media house, which I may not be able to mention, and the way he reacted to that, even threatening court action against that entity,
was unusual of him.
It's quite unusual. It's quite unusual of him. It suggests that probably he knows he's losing ground. He's losing ground. But as to whether that would mean he losing at the primary today, time will tell. If there's somebody I think can beat him, it should be Joseph Gerardini Tete Nyanofio.
Okay, all right, and then let me come to you, Elvis. Okankwe South, Ahmed Arthur, Daquan Newman, Nana Fridua Ajiman Ofuriata, who is board chair of the National Theatre, long-time MPP communicator. Ahmed Arthur is the incumbent. Daquan Newman is a newbie.
Yeah, I followed that constituency, and I think when you weigh the options, with the three going, Ahmed Arthur is likely to maintain the seat.
Okay.
The calculations have been done, and those who wanted Ahmed Arthur defeated had wanted to broker a deal between Daquan and Nana Fridua
for one to back down
so that they can have the votes to defeat Ahmed. However, they couldn't conclude because some wanted Nana Fridua to step down, and I'm told, also make the argument that at least he is older than Daquan, so why not give him the chance to go now so that after him Daquan can come. But I think that negotiation could not conclude successfully, so the three are going. So if that calculation is anything to go by, then what it means is that they will split the votes, and Ahmed Arthur will gain more votes than the two of them, and therefore Ahmed Arthur may likely go through. If that calculation really should work.
Sammy, you said that? The way you are laughing?
Yeah, I exactly the same.
Okay, no problem then. Since you asked for it, Chama East, Daniel Nick, Titus Glover, Dr. Benjamin Ashite Ama.
Well, for Tema East, I think Dr. Benjamin, the truth is I don't know him much. But I think Titus, looking at what he went through in 2016 to win that parliamentary seat to become a member of parliament, I think he has learned some useful lessons, and I've monitored how he has related to the constituency whilst being in parliament, and I believe that he's a ground person and has done enough on the ground to be able to retain that seat. That is how I see it.
I see Doctor to be a strong candidate. I'm reliably informed that he happens to be the nephew of the regional minister, Mr. Ashite. So, resource-wise, is good for him, and he's gradually moving his way through the hearts and mind of those who are going to vote today. So it will be a tough fight for Titus. But
Titus never has things easy, does he?
You know, even the last election he won by 3 votes. So that's why he was called MP3. But I tip him. I tip Titus to win.
And Kofi Bako is favorite for Tema Central. We've all acknowledged
there's no competition for him. It's a superpower in that position.
He's a power broker.
No, it's a big time shipper, and it's a big time. So he really has resources. And he has invested in the pocket.
He has a deep pocket.
Yes.
If he decides not to go,
including this,
if he decides not to go, fine. But if he goes to any elections,
he will win.
He will definitely
win. That I'm not going.
He'll definitely win.
Let's go to the northeast region, gentlemen. Duke, I'm coming to you here. Hajia Alima Mahama Nalarigu Gambaga facing a stiff fight for her seat. Musa Yamba Ishahaku and Sampa Muhammad.
Hajia should win this. I think she's learned from the fact that if most of the ministers in her league or in her cabinet or in her class in the government, if I may put it that way, most of the ministers went unopposed. But the fact that she is fighting this and has had so many contestants means that she has to pull her weight, which she already has, because for you to be minister for local government in any government at all is one that, if you do your calculations well and ensure that what you have as a minister of local government is being used to better the lives of the people there, you would win this. The serious contest I'm hearing she's facing is from someone who is related to the vice president in that constituency. But the honorable minister has more ground and knows the people, and this is probably she's been in and out of parliament a couple of times, the third time in parliament. So I think that based on the experience she has on the ground and the fact that she's been able to cultivate the relationships in the constituency over the past number of years that she has been member of parliament there, Hajia should be able to win this.
Okay, so Hajia carries that one. Northern region then. Northern region, there's Tolon and then there is Nanton. But I want us to look at Nanton seat. Now, the sitting member of parliament, there's Mohammed Hadi Tuferu. He is seeking to win the ticket to represent the party in the December general elections, but he's up against a very formidable party soldier in the Deputy National Communication Officer, Kamal Dean Abdullah. Now, we went there and did a report, so I'm hoping to share that report with you in a bit. But Samir Rafi, this is you are the one who knows the party inside out. Mohammed Hadi Tuferu, Kamal Dean, big contest.
Kamal Dean, apart from his position you mentioned as deputy director, was a former Nasara coordinator. The former Nasara coordinator for the party, and as a Nasara coordinator, you move to almost every zongo setting, in quotes, and I'm using that word advisedly. You move to these particular places, speak to the people there. He's had this ambition for a while. Not just 2020. In 2016, he had made an attempt to run, but then he was spoken out of it, and he decided to not to contest that seat again. But now he feels he's matured enough. This is the right time for him to contest the incumbent member of parliament for this particular area. Kamadin is well known, both Accra and the northern part of the country. So based on his promises and what he's been telling the people that he will do when he becomes a member of parliament, it's going to be a tough fight, and I won't be in a position to
this is one of those seats you can easily predict. Well, Elvis, since you've been such a good friend this morning, I want you to talk about Yendi. And Yendi has three big persons. The Abibata Shani Mahama Zakaria is there. Umar Farouk Aliyu Mahama is there. And Baba Osman Dane is also running for that seat.
Well, one would say like Farouk should be like the leading contender in this fight and should have won. However, I think I spoke to a colleague journalist who actually comes from that area and has been there. He said certain things and said it's not going to be easy for Farouk on the grounds that Farouk, after the demise of his father, there were certain back and forth with the family, and he made certain comments that the indigenes of the place think that he shouldn't have made.
Okay.
To the extent that at a point he is allegedly even said that he's not from Yendi and that he's from some other parts of the region. And therefore, some people were not very happy with that kind of comments that he made. And therefore, it looks like the people who are going to vote may likely punish him for what has happened in the past. So obviously, it appears Farouk may not be the actual favorite in this race. So it appears the deputy, the gentleman, the other gentleman, I think he's a grassroots person.
Baba Osman.
Yeah. Him and the Maslock lady, because she has also facilitated the Maslock support for the people of the place and giving them some capital to do business. So it's going to be, but I hear the gentleman is really on the ground and is the delegates man and is likely to pull a surprise.
Duke, what do you think?
Maslock, the Maslock lady, Abiba Tashani Muhammad Zakaria.
You are tipping her to win the seat?
Yes, I'm tipping her to win the seat. Because
interesting.
Yes, because she's apparently been able to build on the long service and history of his family in that constituency, which is working against Farouk. Because apparently Farouk's family connection to Yendi is being doubted now, and it's something that I may not have the sophistication to understand, to explain because of
I can understand that.
Yes. So I think that, and Abiba Tashani, as at now, the last time I spoke to somebody who understands the issues in that constituency, seems to be the one ahead. So I agree that Abiba Tashani may win this contest.
And Godfred, that constituency happens to be who the most influential family you are coming from.
These are aristocrats.
Yes. Yeah. Her dad was a former member of parliament under the Buzia regime. Yeah. And she's the second woman to ever contest in that constituency. The first was her mom, who is now a diplomat in the United Arab Emirates. So she's from a family of
MPP
politicians,
and politicians.
If I want to put it that way. So that gives
the tradition lives on
an edge over the other. And then the Baba guy, as he was a former chief accountant for the regional coordinating council, the Northern Regional Coordinating Council. He's lived all his life in the Northern region. He schooled there until university days when he went out and then came back to serve in the region. So as Elvis said, he's a grassroots person. Yeah. He knows the system. He knows the ins and outs of Yendi.
Okay.
So that will play to his advantage.
All right. But who are you tipping?
I'm tipping Abibatu.
You're also tipping Abibatu. Okay. Yeah. Looks like Abibatu Shani Muhammad Zakaria has some fans here in the studio. Let me take you to another big race in the Upper East region, where Navrogo Central, Joseph Kofi Adam, aviation minister, facing off against the regional minister, Tangoba Abayage. And these are two of the most accomplished politicians from that part of the country facing off. Elvis.
I think Kofi Adam is hot.
Very, very hot.
Yeah, and I think looking at longevity, the fact that he's been in parliament for long, he served under President Akufo, he's now serving under President Akufo-Addo. I think that the people are likely to say he's had his fair share and that they will want a new face. And if you follow the narrative from the place, so that Tangoba seems to be really ruling with the youth and the people who are really going to determine who becomes the next parliamentary candidate in the area. And being the regional minister, as I said, if you are that position and you are the MC or MDC position, you seem to, you're always around and you always have some resources to pull some surprises to get people to follow. So I think that Kofi Ada risk losing that seat. It will be a close race, but it appears the lady is a slightly favorite over Kofi Ada at this point in time.
Duke, same race.
The regional minister, very likable personality, very likable person. If you meet her, and this is against. She's been on the ground, very close to the constituency because she's regional minister. The Honorable Aviation Minister has had his own issues going into this election, where there were accusations against him for flying to the constituency because he's the aviation minister to campaign. And when you are faced with such a situation, it can either be for your benefit or for your detriment, depending on how your campaign team, for want of a better word, spins it on the ground. And so far, that has not really favored the Honorable MP, the Navrogo Central MP, Joseph Kofi Ada. So I agree that Tanguba Bayage is in the lead, and probably she could be the candidate beating Navrongo Central MP Joseph Kofi Ada.
Sammy,
I side with my colleagues here, Godfred. About a month ago, or some 3 weeks ago, there's a group called Bonaboto. Yeah, Bonaboto. Sorry, they were at the Jubilee House to complain to the president about some actions and inactions of Kofi Ada. Apparently, there was supposed to be an airport project in Bolga, but then Kofi Ada has diverted that particular project to Paga. And the chiefs were not really happy about it. So they petitioned the president to set up a committee to investigate this particular issue. So when even chiefs in the area are not happy with you, you should expect what's going to happen. And Paulina, onto her appointment as the regional minister, was Ghana's ambassador to Italy.
Yeah.
So she was recalled to come and take the position. But before even occupying these two offices, she worked within the region.
Yeah.
I think under
in
the
gender advocacy
she's
for 30 years.
Yeah.
For 30 years, she was regional director.
Regional director for the region.
Yeah. I also did, if I recall, she was doing some programs for GBC, the regional GBC station, educating women.
Great.
So she's lived there.
So she's lived there,
for
done almost everything there. The people see her every day, every time they see her. So I will tip Paulina to win this seat.
Okay. Like I said, I would bring us an update from the Efijasi situation quickly, and then we can wrap up with the central region. 3 constituencies I want us to look at in the central region. So let's find out what is happening in the Asokore Efijasi area.
So we are the ward where the aspirant, his name is Mr. Lawyer Adumako Adumapia. Lawyer Adumapia. There he lies. All his issues are that he was. Okay, so we've been asked to stop filming. He's relaxing, but Mommy, please come back and talk to us. So, as it stands now, he is relaxing. He's being taken care of. But what is the party doing now? Is elections? Are the elections ongoing?
The time was coming here, the election was still, the delegate was still voting, but as the incidents happened, I don't know now the state of the election.
But have you heard from any of your delegates that if the elections are still ongoing or it's been called off?
Some of them have gone home.
Some of them have gone home.
Yes.
So it means
because of this, they can't go.
So it means that voting has stopped at some of the polling stations.
Yes.
All right. So there you have. Please, your full name.
Honorable Mary Boatma, Secretary DCE.
All right. So Honorable Mary Boatma is the District Chief Executive of Secretary East. She has been telling us what really happened at the Efijasi Asokore constituency, where an aspirant, Kwame Adumapia, has been brutalized by some police and military personnel.
2 weeks ago, some changes have gone on to the house.
Just 2 weeks to the election?
Yes. So they went to regional office and then they solved all these issues. But today, the problem that the sale album came again, so the lawyer Kwame Adamapia polling agent was challenging about some of the names that is not should be in the album. That's one. And then the military men went to the party office and then took the polling agent to the police station. And the lawyer went there. The lawyer went there to ask what really happened.
All right. So have you, reached out to both parties to sort of settle the issue beyond you calling the regional minister to come to this place?
Yes. I've called the regional minister.
All right. Thank you very much, madam, for talking to us.
What happened today is the climax of events that have taken place over some time, 2 years. First of all, we have polling stations, and the principle of the party is that polling station elections are conducted by persons living within the periphery of the within the constituency, within the polling station. This situation did not materialize. Yeah, people went to the houses in the night, wrote names, to be precise, packed the police stations with favorites. Some of them don't live in the police station.
Who do you think is behind this?
The whole thing was orchestrated by the party chairman and his cohorts.
Wow. Party. This is an allegation you are making.
Yes, I stand by it. The constituency party chairman and his cohorts with the solid support of the incumbent MP. Because he would go around and say, Mayuwadi, I sack you from the party. I can't work with you. There are a whole lot of people who have been in the party for years, who were police station agents, whom we have used in all succeeding elections, who were kicked out. And packed with people, some of them not known. And I can tell you on authority, some of the present police station executive members are known NDC boys and girls. For example,
this is a serious allegation you are making as a lawyer and a former member of parliament.
Yes.
So when you noticed all these skirmishes, all these schemes to get certain people out of the way to make way for Dr. Ayu Afriye to go smoothly, what have you done about this?
We did alert those who matter.
Who are those who matter?
The region. The regional chairman was put on notice on a lot of these events.
What was his response?
He relied on information from his constituency chairman. But later on, he realized that many things had been allowed to go wrong.
Just learning that elections have been called off in the constituency. Let me speak to one of the delegates. They just decided that no, developments here mean that they should call off the election. Let's get close to him. So, is it a fact that you delegates here have called off the election?
Sure, it is.
Why did you do that?
We have to, because our leader has been brutalized. And the effect of how he was affected, we at the police station are afraid such that the army will come there and do same. So we must leave the scene.
So you left the scene, and you've also said that you are not going to carry on with the elections.
Why not? May I ask you, if you are in the shoe of that person, can you get to the inner place that you'll be brutalized there? When you'll be coming to the hospital, you will be killed before time. So it's better you save your life.
So there you have it. Delegates in the Efijase Asokore constituency say they are not going to go ahead with the election because of the skirmishes in the constituency. One candidate, lawyer Mr. Adumapia has been brutalized by some security persons. They are alleging that the chairman of the constituency and the incumbent member of parliament are behind this act.
So that is Kojajiman from the Asokore Fujase. These are not the kind of scenes we want to see, gentlemen, from any kind of election in this country. Things have gotten out of hand. Hopefully, things remain calm. Some allegations being made, but hopefully things remain calm and they're able to see through this. Quickly, let's wrap this up in the central region. Okay, let's go to Ewutu Senya West. George Under Joseph Edu. Duke.
George Under.
George Under wins that one for you. Okay. Central region again. Agona West. Cynthia Morrison is being contested by Samuel Oboda and Yosin Otu. Sammy.
Cynthia will win.
Cynthia Morrison wins that one. Okay. And Elvis, Gomwa West. Communications Minister Deputy, another one, Alexander Aban, is being contested by Kwejo Abbas Aqua.
I think Aban should win.
Gentlemen, Aban?
Aban should.
Aban
will win this primary, but for the national election, there will be a challenge.
Yeah. Okay. So everybody goes for Aban. And messages that have come in, let me just take a few more messages from our viewers. The MPP is indeed going to show the entire world and Ghanaians that we are beacons of democracy and rule of law when it comes to internal party politics. This is Baba, chairman from Tamale. Good morning. I'm enjoying the discussion. I'll be very sad if Honorable Apia Kubi wins. He has failed us abysmally. Winchi is here. Eric Bonzi says that Professor John Boafo will win the parliamentary election. They will win the primaries hands down. 70% of the vote is his prediction. Let's see. Kinsley, this is Edu Kwetia Kinsley from Ebri. He's wishing a peaceful election in his hometown. Let's vote in peace to avoid violence. Kasim from Tamale says it's been raining since 8 a.m. here. The turnout has been very low in some of the polling stations as a result. Maxwell from Navrungu says voting is underway and delegates have made it clear they want Honorable Joseph Kofi Ada to continue for another 4 years. So another supporter definitely joining us. The coverage continues. Bernard Avles, Selom Adonu, Vivian, Kai, Loko, Abna, Ousu Nyameche, a whole lot more coming through as we continue to track the NPP coverage. But this segment, my name is Godfred Akoto Boafo. I'm done. Thank you very much. Elvis, the Akun from the Finder newspaper, he's the editor. Samiri Afe, presidential correspondent, and Duke Mensa Opoku, our parliamentary correspondent. Keep watching City TV and keep listening to 97.3 City FM.
Representing a